Welcome to the Best Fork and Friend podcast. Y'all ready for the show tonight? Yeah, I'm ready. All right. I want you to meet all my friends. Let's meet them. We're best fork and friends. We're not spooning or knifing. We're forking, not fighting. We're talking about forks. You use at the dinner table, baby. We're not spooning or knifing. We're forking, not fighting. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Best Forking Friends podcast, episode number 3 coming at you here. Tonight, we have our friends, Paul, Shane, Branson, and Joel. And anyways, it's Friday night. We're just hanging out. This is Paul and Shane's first episode. They've been here. Well, Paul's been here for a couple of recordings that we did beforehand. But why don't we just start with maybe a small introduction, and then we'll talk about what we're doing this weekend. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a nurse, and I work for a prison system. I enjoy my job, my craft, and this is a new opportunity here to hang out with these guys and discuss some real age topics. So I'm looking forward to this tonight.
Heck yeah. How about you, Shane?
Hello, I'm Shane Saylor. Whatever, I don't care. Don't come to my house. I don't know. I work in finance. I'm also a college soccer coach, which is pretty much my passion, and I look forward to doing that pretty much day in and day out. But also in my free time, just spending time with the homies.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on this weekend. Branson, what's going on in your world?
Well, I'm doing this tonight.
Yeah.
Which is obvious, but got UFC 300 tomorrow. Pretty excited
pretty
about
big
that.
one.
Yeah, and usually I don't watch the prelims or anything like that, but the card is so jacked, I'm watching the entire thing.
That sounds exciting.
5 p.m. to midnight.
Dang. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Any-
All good matches.
Any specific fighter that you're looking forward to watching?
Every single one of them.
Every single one.
Yeah, and Dana White took the fight bonus up from 50,000 to 300,000, so I can see things getting pretty nasty. That's a lot of
but
bones. That's not what they only get paid, but a bonus.
That's pretty sick.
So real excited about that.
That's cool.
And you guys are welcome to come join me.
Yeah. Should go over to
There'll be chicken legs.
Oh, I'm glad.
chicken legs.
Chicken legs.
You barbecuing?
Barbecuing. Yeah.
Oh.
Branson's a master.
I don't
of
think I'm
cooking
going to
chicken.
do wings. Just going to go legs, man, because a lot more
legs.
meat for a lot less price.
I ain't mad about it. I'm going to enjoy some of that.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, because I was going to crash probably anyways.
I'm here, motherfucker.
I probably won't be there. I'll be spending all day tomorrow out at the soccer field. Like, our first game starts at 8:45,
Oh,
and
really?
it doesn't end until like 7:30.
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
Obviously,
be hot.
if it starts at 8:30 and it ends at 7:30, that would be at night. I don't know why I asked that.
Well, you
I
know.
mean,
You mean at night? Or do you go back in time?
maybe it's 8:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, a marathon. What would you call that? A gauntlet soccer tournament?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a tournament. It's not just a game.
Yeah, like we have, like the most teams I've seen at this tournament. I think we almost have like 15 teams, and yeah, it's round robin. It's gonna be wild. Every team's guaranteed at least 4 games. So, yeah.
Dang.
So what does round robin mean? I mean, I always hear round robin, but does it just mean whoever wins advances? I mean,
Yes and no. So they're broken into groups. So with 15 teams, it's roughly 4 groups, and 2 groups will have 5 teams or whatever the math is. Like, and you play everybody in your group, and then the top 2
gotcha.
teams from each group advance.
oh, okay,
So
I
it's not
gotcha.
a traditional bracketed type
Yeah,
tournament.
it would. If we did it that way, it wouldn't be really fair. And this way, it gives everybody an opportunity to play everybody in their bracket. And
So like you said, guaranteed so many games.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. Well, good luck to you and your team, Shane. That'll be awesome.
thank you.
What about Paul? What are you doing tomorrow other than going to the UFC fight?
I've got some grown-up responsibilities. Lawn care, landscaping, stuff like that I'm going to take care of in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah, I emptied out a flower bed, took the mulch out, and well, a couple of them, and then tomorrow I'm going to go pick up some rock and get that installed, and then I need to mow because we got a lot of rain the other day.
I mowed today and trimmed. My lawn looks great.
I've had a tree that fell down on my house laying in my yard for about 2 weeks.
But you chopped it up.
I chopped it up. I got that far.
You chopped it up.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a truck and trailer to get rid of the wood, let me
No,
know.
I'm keeping the wood.
Okay.
Dog.
Gonna
We're
burn
going to
it.
let it burn.
Just not the only wood you're keeping.
Whoa! Whoa! What is that? Holy cow!
I don't know, but it's provocative, and I like it.
Provocative. I'm going to the UFC fight tomorrow, and I don't think I have anything else. I might do some more outside.
It's supposed to be 80
Stuff.
degrees. It's supposed to be beautiful.
Beautiful.
Breezy.
weather out.
Are you gonna
All weekend, too.
Yeah.
Are you gonna chickadee Chinese the Chinese chicken?
You
Am
have
I
a
going to eat
drumstick.
Chinese?
Chickadee Chinese the Chinese chicken.
I
Eat a
don't-
drumstick and your brain starts
Oh,
Watching the X-Files with no lights
didn't put
on,
that
like that
together.
made song.
that's great.
Guaranteed to satisfy.
You got me, dude. You got me.
Zing.
No, I'm not. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of wing it tomorrow,
Wing it?
which is nice.
No, they're legs.
I'm
not legs.
legging it tomorrow. I'm legging it.
We already covered this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I already said I wasn't buying wings, man. They're more expensive.
But yeah. So that's pretty much what I got going on. We're just kind of, it's kind of nice. Last weekend, Tommy was here, and I loved spending time with him. I know you didn't get to see him, but it was really good catching up with him. He had a phenomenal time. He kept telling me how he wants to bring his family out here to visit because,
Yeah.
you know,
Just to meet where he
yeah,
grew up.
yeah. See what it's like. He kept telling us about how he'd look outside and be like, "It's so green out here. It's so green."
Yeah, because he's in Arizona. There's not much green there, huh?
Oh, it's a pretty diverse state from
It
north to
is
south.
all,
yeah.
but where
Well,
he lives,
yeah, he said something about mountain, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, the northern part of the
Yeah.
state's covered in trees.
Really? I
Yeah.
would no clue.
But he had a really good time. Thanks for letting him come over and
Yeah,
do some
no problem.
podcasting. He did some fire dancing. Did you see the video?
I saw let's say I saw a still shot of him trying to fire dance, but it
Yeah.
would not play for me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's because.
Oh, I made him look like pretty much a fire samurai.
Yeah,
well, I
dude.
think you posted it to an app that I'm not a regular user of or don't have an
It's
account.
TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
TikTok.
only TikToks I see are on Reels. You know
I
what I mean?
got you.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, I can just share the actual video to the chat, and it'll allow you to see it.
yeah, I attempted to.
Awesome. Well, anyway, let's move on to our first topic.
Okay.
So tonight, I want to ask you guys to start. Think about when you were kids. We're talking about our weekends. Remember when we were kids, we'd wake up on Saturday morning, pour yourself your favorite bowl of cereal, and just park in front of the TV and watch your favorite Saturday morning cartoons. So, what are some of your favorite Saturday morning cartoons? We'll start with Shane.
So I'm going to put a little disclaimer on that. When I moved to Illinois, for the longest time, we didn't have any cable or satellite or anything. So all I could watch were VHSs that my parents had recorded from Disney or whatever. So I watched like a lot of reruns of shows that I already knew the answers to, like Kids Jeopardy and all that.
Kids Jeopardy?
Yeah, I mean, it was like Beekman's World or something like that.
Oh, I like
Oh,
Beekman's
Beekman's
World.
World.
Yeah, and I just remember like from that, I remember they were talking about, for whatever reason, they were talking about pimple poppers.
Ugh,
And
gross.
but like he used like a Bavarian donut to explain it, and it was really weird. I was like, oh, gross. Anyway, but from what I remember, whenever I lived in California, like I enjoyed watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, classic, of course. I mean, I see the box set still on Amazon. I'd love to buy it just because I want to rewatch it. Of course, G.I. Joe. I mean, real American hero. And having all those,
Heck yeah.
having all those toys, I grew up with them. I always stole them from my brother. I've lost so many in our sandbox in California. He probably would kill me. But then my other one that really stands out, I really enjoyed watching David the Gnome on Nickelodeon.
Oh, wasn't that your like profile picture or something?
Yeah, he was my profile picture on
I don't even
Facebook
know
and
what that
MySpace
show
for
is,
the
but-
longest time.
Do you know what it is?
I've never heard of it, but I never had like any like cable at that point in my life.
Well, you know, you guys keep
Like, I
talking
never
about
did-
cable.
like, I never-
It was on regular TV too. Like there was Saturday morning cartoons on like
Well, I
channel
never ran
11
into
and
that one.
30. You never had what
Not
was it?
David the Gnome,
Well, I don't know about that one, but I'm thinking like.
but
you
yeah,
just-
like cartoons. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
the-
cartoons.
okay.
but I'm just talking about David the Gnome
Oh, okay.
specifically. Like I've never heard of that.
so
Yeah.
what is that?
It's so old, like I really don't remember. I just remember like what he looked like. He's like a very typical like Saturday morning kids cartoon. He would get into mischief, or be trying to solve a problem for whoever he was with or whoever was in trouble, and it was just similar things like that. But also it was about him going on through his life. And I remember him trying to save somebody, and he hopped on a fox and he rode across the woods riding a fox. And you're like, what? Why is this guy riding a fox? But I mean, I don't know. It was that, but like I also watched like a lot of the obscure TV shows, like I can't even remember the name. I know it is in my head, but it's Starship Troopers. Like they had like a CGI Starship Troopers for kids. It was like Starship Troopers Roughnecks. That's what it was. And I remember watching that.
Huh.
And then Reboot. Like it was all stupid CGI
I kind of remember Reboot a
illustration,
little bit.
and it's like so lame. There's no reason anybody would want to watch it. But I was just like, I don't really care. I don't have TV, and this is the opportunity I get when I get to watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
The only CGI crappy cartoon I remember is like Transformers, but it was like Beast, like
Beast Wars.
Beast
Beast Wars.
Yeah, that was like really crappy.
It was, but we thought it was so
It was
good.
cool at the time, but like I've just seen
It's cutting
a
edge.
clip here and there,
It
and
was
it was
cutting
like
edge.
it was like obviously I thought it was the first time you ever seen anything like that, so it probably looked way cool, but yeah.
Beast
ordered it.
Wars was my first Transformers,
Oh really?
and those were my first Transformer toys. So they were all animals.
It's so weird, like the small gap in age we have. The things that were your first, and you don't remember like the last time.
you
we
remember
talked.
the original?
Yeah,
And probably does
original.
probably too.
That's what I was about to say. Like, just listening to Shane, I know there's going to be a huge difference in what we grew up watching.
Yeah.
And if I was to go chronologically, mine would be totally different than you guys. So my original.
So tell us about yours then.
Yeah,
well,
I
the
wanna hear
same.
about yours.
You know, if I'm going to go chronologically here.
Yeah.
So when I was really young, it's like Woody the Woodpecker and stuff like that. Basic stuff. Acme with Bugs Bunny and the
Yeah.
original stuff, Elmer Fudd. And then I remember getting a little older, transitioning to more like Captain Planet,
Oh,
Captain
Classic.
Planet,
Teenage
baby.
Mutant
Captain
Ninja Turtles,
Planet.
yeah.
the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because in the early 90s, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not the Ninja Turtles you watched late 90s or early 2000s, whatever, when you were quite a bit younger, 8 years younger than me? And they did change over, but the original was classic for me. But then I kind of also remember transitioning to more of I don't want to get up early to watch cartoons on Saturday, but I had to for school. So I remember watching certain shows like Voltron before school.
Yeah.
Woody
yeah.
Woodpecker was also always on before school. And then I transitioned into I just want to watch the 3:30, 4:30 shows after school
Yeah.
because I was a big Chipmunks fan. The actual Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Rescue
Monty
Rangers.
and all them. And then we had Tailspin,
Tailspin.
DuckTales. Man,
Ooh.
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So all of them were really classics for me, and that's the last group that probably phased me out of watching cartoons religiously. Was
Yeah.
those 4 after school cartoons?
so late
No,
late
He-Man?
80s, early 90s.
What's
You
that?
don't- You're not a He-Man?
Oh yeah, I was. We were just
Okay, I
talking
was saying
spitfiring
because
a
that
little bit.
seems like
Yeah.
in that era because I like barely remember He-Man. Like I can't remember anything about it except the
And
Wait, what was
Skeletor.
that? What was that?
I'm not doing it again.
these kids grew up with like Blue's Clues. I grew up with
Yeah, you
Pee Wee
Blue's
frickin'
Cluesies.
Herman.
Oh, dude,
I grew up with Pee Wee
Pee-wee's
frickin'
Playhouse.
Herman, man.
I like Blues.
Lawrence Fishburne wasn't he in Pee
Yeah, he
Wee's
was.
Playhouse?
Cowboy Curtis,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Nobody likes
And
Blue's
Phil
Clues.
Hartman.
Don't say that.
Look, dude, don't even act like when Steve comes on and does these like heartfelt little like messages to all of his grown-up kids. Like, I don't know, dude. It gets me feeling a certain
There
way.
would be
Now
no
that's
Steve
cool. I'm
without
okay with
Pee Wee.
that.
Steve is what's that?
There would be no Steve without Pee Wee.
You're absolutely right.
It's true. No, it's true.
every like adult hero has like a predecessor. So even before Pee-wee, there were other people like that too. Like I don't know much about like Captain Kangaroo, but you always hear about that like
That's
from our
like
kid,
more
like
like
our
my
parents.
dad.
Yeah, like they grew up on that and
Bozo.
Bozo the Clown. What was that other one? H.R. Puffin stuff. It's not really like an adult, you know. It's like imaginary.
Pippi
character.
Longstockings.
Yeah.
You know what brought memories to me the other day was Darren was singing the theme song to Reading Rainbow.
Dude,
And I'm like, where did she get that from? I used to like that show when I was growing up.
Is LeVar still up to it?
I can go twice as high.
Dude, it blew my mind when I was a kid. Sorry to interrupt your show.
No, you're fine, you're
It blew
fine.
my mind when I was a kid and watching Reading Rainbow. Then all of a sudden, he's like on Star Trek.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, what? What's
He's
going
Geordi.
on? It's like, what's going on? Like, it was like, something's wrong. Like,
It was hard to understand that a guy could be on two different TV shows.
And then, you know, I put it together, like, eventually, but it was just mind-blowing at the time. I was like, whoa. And then like, if I ever did watch Star Trek, which I really didn't, but I'd watch because of him as a kid. Like, he was my favorite.
He was cool because he had the like visor thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think he was blind.
Yeah, he was blind.
Yep.
And I was like, he's not blind.
Were you gonna say something about
He
reading?
reads me books. How could he read?
How can this motherfucker read?
I saw the book. That
He's not
wasn't
wearing
Braille.
the visor in the Reading Rainbow.
That book was not in Braille, bud.
He showed me the pictures.
Shane, were you gonna say something about reading
Yeah.
Rainbow?
So Darren and Bo are in the same classroom. Yeah, exactly.
Wait, hold on. You were talking about your brother Darren, though, right?
No, I was talking
no,
about
talk-
little
Baby
Darren.
Darren.
Baby
So my
Darren.
Baby Darren.
7-year-old daughter was
Wow.
singing the theme song to Reading
Okay.
Rainbow.
And my stepson Bo are in the same class. So Bo comes home and he's singing it, or he's humming it while we're eating dinner. And I look at him, I'm like, "Are you singing Reading Rainbow?" He goes, "No." I'm like, "Dude, I used to watch it." He goes, "No, you didn't. You don't know what Reading Rainbow is." I was like, "Dude, I'm about to educate you."
OG,
Like,
baby.
I pulled up YouTube, entered. I was like, "Do you really think I don't know what it is?" He goes, "Yeah, you don't know what this is. This is new." I was like, "Nah."
This is new.
And I hit play and I showed it to him. He goes, "That's not Reading Rainbow." It's the same exact song. He's like, "That's not Reading Rainbow." I mean, as a precursor, everybody in this room knows I like to pull people's legs and like to fucking troll everyone.
Absolutely,
And
you do.
it goes on to my son as well. And he doesn't believe anything I say. And then in that moment, like I saw his eyes light up and was like, "Oh, wow. Shane actually knows what he's talking about for once."
My
Dude.
stepdad's not stupid.
Man. So, okay. So I'm thinking of like the cartoons I grew up on. So really my earliest memories of like TV are like maybe from when I was 4 or 5. And, you know, I use the word cartoon, but we'll just use television shows, right? Power Rangers was big on Saturday
Yeah,
mornings.
I remember that.
That was huge for me.
Oh, yeah.
And then I liked. Sometimes I'm confusing. I'm not sure what was on Saturdays and what was on like after school and stuff. But Power Rangers was big. X-Men was huge.
Which they just brought back.
Yeah,
I heard.
Yeah,
I
Disney.
don't know.
X-Men '97, which is a continuation of the show from the '90s. They pick it up right where
Right
it
where I
left
left off. Really?
Yeah, 'cause
Wow.
it actually ended on like a cliffhanger.
Too
Like,
bad I canceled
it's-
all my streaming services.
off. You'll have to come over to watch it.
yeah, it was ended like on a to be continued, and then
Oh, then
they didn't-
cancel.
They got
yeah,
canceled or
yeah, they
something?
canceled
Alright.
it. So
Gosh,
it's perfect.
So sad. You guys remember?
We're not selling enough cereal.
Yeah, well,
Gotta
yeah.
cancel.
That's actually what, like, you think about it, like, a lot of television shows are just launching pads to sell merchandise and you know, cereal and stuff like that.
I can't imagine how many things I've begged my mom for.
And I remember, this is off topic because this ain't
Yeah.
cartoon related.
That's okay.
But Bill Nye the Science Guy
Dude, hell
made
yeah.
me want to buy a bunch of lab equipment.
Oh,
Yeah, he was cool.
He was cool.
He was
Yeah.
cool.
I
He
did
still
little
is cool.
Did
Like, he's,
little experiments. Like
yeah.
I would do stuff he would do. Like
My mom and dad were broke, so I couldn't get none of that lab equipment.
no, I
But
didn't have
wanted
any.
that
I
lab
made my
equipment.
own.
Yeah.
Made my own experiments. You know.
what did you do for an experiment?
Well, I don't remember, but I just remember trying to do things he did.
Did you do any? Like, with anything that you had at home?
Well, I mean, some of the basic stuff he'd have with like making stuff with baking soda and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, like your own
Yeah.
volcanoes and things, but
probably
nothing
got
that
to do that.
required anything of significance. You know,
Yeah.
the very basic.
Dropping something from a ladder that's heavy and light at the same time.
Oh yeah, to see if they both fall.
Yeah.
At the same. Yeah, that blew my mind. I always thought like, oh, I've got a bowling ball and a
But that's
pen.
if it's in a vacuum, I think, and
where there's no resistance or
so it doesn't
yeah.
work the same if you're poor with no vacuum.
No,
Yeah,
but
there's-
you can get. But it's
not
still
gonna
you like as a kid you think, oh, I've got a
Yeah.
a basketball and an ink pen.
Yeah.
Like those are still probably going to fall relatively the same.
Yeah, if
even
there's
with
no like wind, like I forgot what
Wind
I don't know.
resistance.
Yeah, wind resistance.
Yeah,
obviously
whatever.
I learned nothing.
Fair enough. So what were some of your favorite shows as a kid?
Oh, you guys pretty much covered all of them. I do remember this one called like Bonkers.
Oh yeah.
The cat that was like a cop.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't it like a cheetah? I thought it was a cheetah.
Oh, he's a cheetah. That's right. Yeah.
I don't even know if he was a cheetah. I think he was just
He wasn't even like an.
something. Like
was
it was
just
a
a
mix
something?
of
He
things.
was a cat of some kind.
Yeah.
Now you guys are unlocking other things. So,
Garfield,
Garfield. Oh,
did you
yeah.
watch Animaniacs
Animaniacs,
or Tiny Toon
So,
Adventures?
Freakazoid.
I feel like
Freakazoid.
I feel like
Okay.
I was getting a little old for cartoons by the time
Yeah.
Animaniacs
Yeah.
came out.
But Animaniacs like had so many spinoffs. Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
There, even the old lady, was the old lady and a dog had their
Yeah.
own show. I never watched that.
Old lady and a
I
dog.
forgot what.
It,
what they're
yeah,
called.
it's
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
No,
No,
you're-
it was
that's
like an older
Nickelodeon.
lady. She wore like a blue dress. She had white hair and was in a bun with glasses. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I
but
feel
know-
like by the time that stuff came out, I had already moved to like the Beavis and Butthead era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, you're old.
I was getting both of those at that time.
was-
I wasn't really old enough for Beavis and Butthead, but I was watching it when I wasn't supposed to, probably.
I mean,
And then the Pigeons even had their own show, didn't they?
I can't remember. I didn't really watch Animaniacs because I thought their voices were annoying as fuck, and I was
This?
like fucking over this shit.
Precious
Yeah.
Pup and Hot Rod
No,
Granny.
that's not it.
No,
That's
gotta-
not it.
No.
Huh.
But it was based off the Animaniacs. Whatever you had up was a little too old, like, as far as animation. Jetsons,
Yeah.
Flintstones.
Oh yeah, I watched that. Yeah. Yeah.
Jetsons,
That's my era.
Flintstones.
Classic stuff.
Jetsons were always on at like 7 a.m.
You could just pop it on while you
Yeah.
were getting ready.
Yogi the Bear.
Wait for the bus.
Yogi,
Yogi
the Bear.
Bear.
What was the sad dog? The
Kurt?
hound.
Sad dog.
You don't. He's like, like a sad dog. You don't remember the sad like basset hound?
Man, I'm drawing blank.
Are you talking about the blue dog?
Maybe he was blue. I don't know. We need to figure that out. Sad dog.
talking about
Like
Blake.
a sad dog?
Google sad dog cartoon.
Oh my god, what's
so-
that gonna bring up?
So one of the things I would get for like for Christmas, I don't know where I guess my parents probably got them at Walmart or something, but
Droopy.
oh, Droopy.
Yeah. Tom and then that brought up Tom and Jerry. So
Yeah.
yeah, Droopy.
Wow, dude. I haven't thought about half of these shows since I was a kid. Droopy dog.
There was some weird one that I remember seeing, but I only got to watch it a couple of times, maybe because I was at a hotel staying the night with my mom, and it was on cable, but it was like these cows, but they were like cowboys and sheriffs or something.
Oh, the Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember thinking
Oh,
that's
yeah.
cool, but I only got to see it like once or twice.
Yeah,
So-
that one was a great one.
Never
or,
even heard of it.
Or Street Sharks,
I was about to say
Sure.
there were
Biker Mice from Mars.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set the stage for all the anthropomorphic mutant animal people
Yeah.
TV shows. So yeah, like everything you just said. So you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cowboys of Moo Mesa, Street Sharks, Biker Mice from Mars, Samurai Pizza Cats. What other
Samurai Pizza Cats.
Did you ever see that
No,
one?
I know they had like a very brief show, but like the Battletoads, they had
Battletoads.
theirs
Yeah.
wasn't very popular, but
Do recall it?
yeah, they had a show.
Yeah.
I know Super Mario had a show too.
Yeah, and then
I watched that a little bit.
then the
Super
show,
Mario Brothers Super Show.
Then the show Pokemon came out.
Dude,
Oh,
so
That's a
I was
great
getting
show.
old, but I
That
still watched.
Blew the world away. Well,
I was gonna
America.
actually get to that. I remember whenever I would like when Pokemon Blue, I was like, Mom, it's only on that this time. I gotta get up at 6 a.m.
It was early.
like I gotta get up at 6 a.m. I gotta watch before the bus comes because it would come on at 6:30 and the bus came at 7.
remember.
And I remember like sitting there like with my backpack on, just like sitting there watching it, and like it was crack. I was like, oh, I gotta watch it. I gotta know what's going on.
You got to catch them all, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then and then the bus would be outside honking its horn, and my mom would be yelling at me, and I'd just have to sprint down the driveway and get on there, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing," because they're all listening to their CD players and their Discmans, and I was like, "I'm in junior high, and I'm watching Pokemon still."
That's how young he is. We had Walkmans.
Cowboys, Moo Mace.
Well, I had a Walkman too.
With the
like
cassettes?
I still had it. Yeah, I still had a Walkman with a cassette, but everybody else had Discman.
Oh, I remember playing Garth Brooks and the Thunder Rose
Oh,
over
yeah.
and over again.
Yeah?
And rewinding it.
Yep. And then every once in a while, the tape would get messed up, and you had to
Yeah.
roll it back with your
Yeah.
finger.
I always loved whenever my Walkman would start the battery started to die, like just go really slow, and I
Oh,
was like,
no.
I love it. I was like, I love this because it actually would put me to sleep. But yeah, I don't know. But with the Pokemon, sorry, I'm kind of like encroaching Joel's time to answer.
No. This is really meant to be pretty like just go with the flow. If we're having a good, if
So-
we're having fun, then just keep going with it.
So it wasn't cartoons, but I know we kind of have expanded this topic, and I know the show started on TGIF, but Boy Meets World, that was like my go-to after-school show to watch. Like I would come home from school, I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Fuck this homework," throw my
Because-
backpack down.
One answer. Wasn't that the show with Topanga?
Oh, yeah.
Topanga.
Oh, yes, it was.
The only reason to watch
Most
it,
kids had a crush on Topanga.
she's still
Still
banging.
do.
She still looks nice.
She don't look any different other than she's like an adult.
Yeah. Which is good because we're
yeah.
adults and that makes
It's
sense.
what's her name? It's something Fisher or something.
Yeah, I can't remember her name either.
Well, do you guys remember Blossom?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But then also,
That's all. That's
you
all.
just wanted to say that.
I just whoa.
You just wanted to say Joey
And
Lawrence's
those
key line.
stupid hats
well,
that she
didn't
wore.
the
Oh,
Lawrence
yeah.
brothers also had a TV show, like on Disney. Like Disney had like the prime time teenage block that was like appropriate for like all kids, and so like
Yeah.
parents were like, oh, they can watch it. But like looking back, I was like, man, like Lizzie McGuire, like Hillary Duff is a babe now.
Still.
She was then too, even at my age. But now, like looking back too, like even Stevens was Shia LaBeouf. Like that's where that guy started.
Yeah.
Man, I like
I
how
never
this is
watched that.
evolving into different shows from back then, too, because I remember watching, like, shows like Facts of Life with my mom. You ever heard of
yeah.
that one?
Yeah, with Tootie and
Yep.
and Blair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are good shows.
The 80s. The 80s honestly had some of the best television shows. I wish I could have watched more of them when they were actually in their prime. Like, I love Alf. Did you
Alf
watch
was
Alf?
funny, yeah.
Oh,
it
I-
only had like 2-3 seasons, but it was
Yeah.
funny.
I had an Alf, a doll.
You had
at-
an Alf
at
doll?
one point. Yeah, I don't have any anymore.
Alf is so good. I thought that he was really, like, funny, but I guess what ended up happening was Willie, which is the dad of the show, he's really the biggest supporting character, and Alf is the main character, and he just got really tired of playing second fiddle to a puppet,
Yeah.
even though the whole premise of the show was the puppet,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had to like basically cut it down early, even though it was still really popular.
I mean, how would you feel about being outplayed by a hand?
If the premise of the show is that, and if that really was what got me like, if that made me popular, I mean, I guess I don't know. I wouldn't know unless I was in that role for a really long time. But you know what? The guy who played him, played Willie, made a lot of money from that television show. So it's kind of like you'd hope that you could appreciate it and then maybe find a better way to like progress your acting career. You know, you don't want to get typecast forever as whatever it was you got on your first show, but
Yeah.
I don't know. What other television shows are we like unlocking memories for right now? It doesn't have to
Well-
be Saturday cat cartoons anymore.
Well, one of the cartoons I did forget to mention that I used to like to watch was the Smurfs.
Oh
Yeah, Smurfs is classic.
they're-
Smurfs is classic.
they're make-
Smurfette.
With Gargamel.
Only female in town.
Yeah. They're making a new one. I don't know if you knew that.
A new like show for kids.
No, it's a new movie. But
They're remaking it again.
I think it's a continuation because they did 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And this is Smurfs 3, I believe. But Katy Perry isn't Smurfette. They recasted her. I can't remember who it is. It's like
I'll look it up.
It's like her doppelganger, probably.
no, it's like Ariana Grande or somebody, or maybe even Cardi B. Who knows? Ow.
Oh no, not Cardi B, please.
I don't know. It's somebody was just like, what? I can't remember. But they just talked about it this morning on the Riz show.
I hadn't heard about that.
I don't. I see that there's a 2021 TV series for the Smurfs. You sure you're not talking about that?
No, it is new.
Huh. They don't even have it on IMDb yet.
Yeah, I don't even think it's coming out until like 25 or something.
Huh.
It's a hot minute away.
Okay.
Well, I like the evolution of the conversation, like I said, going on to shows. And what about movies?
Dude, don't get me started.
Come on
Movies that we
I mean,
think about.
Yeah, some of my fondest memories of my dad was a truck driver, so he's gone all the time.
Yeah.
And when we were little, anyway.
Right.
And so, I remember when he was home, I can remember his big birthdays, and I remember me, Darren, and Dad just marathoning through Star Wars,
Yeah.
like all night long, just watching that stuff. Or probably introducing me a little too early to Axel Foley and Beverly Hills Cop.
Never too
love
early for
Beverly
that.
Hills
To
Cop.
this
a good one,
day,
though.
I love those movies. I'll watch them anytime, and they're coming out with a new one named Axel Foley.
And Eddie Murphy's playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward
yeah.
to that. All the Lethal Weapon movies Dad introduced me to, Bird on a Wire. So it was a lot of those kinds of movies. Kurt Russell and Danny Glover,
So this is a good like. How about the next topic be like
Mel Gibson.
movies that we remember, like watching with family members, parents, siblings, anything like that. So you liked watching those with your dad.
Yeah, Dad always watched a lot of action with us, and to this day, that's why I prefer his action and comedy. Every once in a while, a horror film's okay, but back in the day, I didn't watch horror films. If I
Yeah.
did, I didn't really enjoy them as much as I maybe do now. But
They made
like
me
when it
pee
came
my
to
pants.
You're peeing your pants.
No, like horror movies made me pee
Well,
my pants.
Oh.
I just it was. I remember being young and watching stuff like Pinhead, and that's an old one.
I thought it was Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser.
Yeah,
His name, they
the
call him
character,
Pinhead.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I remember watching something like that, and it didn't make me feel comfortable. So I didn't really enjoy the movie or
Right.
the experience back then.
No, sir.
I preferred watching action movies with Dad or comedy or an old Western or something like that. It wasn't until I was a grown man that I could actually find entertainment in a horror film. Because I remember watching Exorcist and stuff like that back when I was young or
Really?
a teenager.
Oh, teenager,
And it
okay.
didn't make me. It made me feel unclean, like I'm letting a door open to my soul.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
felt, I
Oh,
felt like
shit.
I was letting the demons inside me just by watching something this evil, kind of like a Ouija board would do.
Yeah. It's funny we were talking about Ouija boards the other day.
Yeah.
It's like opening the door into your soul.
Pardon me.
It's how it felt.
It's if you believe in that stuff, then it absolutely, I think, can kind of open that sort
Yeah.
of thing up. Like,
But when I was a kid, that's where my mindset was. This is not.
Yeah.
This is not right.
Even if it were real or not real, like believing in it could manifest
absolutely,
fear for sure. You know,
100%.
like
I think to piggyback off what Paul said, like I could never watch it. Like I tried so many times, like even as like a high school or a college student or anything. Like, my parents didn't let me watch horror movies in general because they're very strict Christians. But like, they never really never interested me. But as I got older, I was like, I want to watch them, and I tried them, but I couldn't get into them mainly because they got too gory. And I was like,
Yeah.
we made it too realistic.
And now you watch it and you look back and you're like, that was terrible
Cheesy.
graphics.
Well,
it was
yeah, like-
cheesy.
yeah,
like think about Nightmare on Elm Street. I remember
Yeah.
I remember I wasn't supposed to watch it, but it was on regular TV late at night. I remember I was probably 6 years old. Darren's 5. We're watching in our bedroom because we shared a bedroom.
6 years old,
Oh,
late
dude.
at night watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Did you sleep?
No,
I
well,
probably had that
not well. I heard
experience,
I heard I slept walked and was like climbing the closet and all kinds of crazy stuff that night.
you were possessed.
Well,
Freddie was trying to get you, dude.
this is the only thing that's differing between my wife. Well, not only thing, but one of the main things that differs between me and Casey is she lets Bo, who's 6 years old, watch those shows with her, and I'm just like, nah, he shouldn't be watching it, but he watches them. He watches Nightmare on Elm Street. He watches Child's Play. Now, I've tried to scare it out of him, like, you don't want to watch this. You're 6 years old. You shouldn't be watching this.
Right.
And because he used to like watch it in air quotes, but he'd have like a tablet or something, and he'd be like, "Oh, look, it's Freddy," and it'd be Freddy like literally standing there like looking at the screen, not like him slicing and dicing somebody. And then like he actually watched it the other night, and he's like, "Oh, it's Freddy. I like this." And I was like, "Oh dear God."
Oh no.
So I could do like horror films back then, but I didn't like I said, the possession kind of thing. That didn't make me feel comfortable. So I didn't really mind like the Friday the 13th and even when they came out with Scream and things like that. That didn't bother me. Because then they become more comical, especially when you watch like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one, and they're like, and they're running as fast as they can, and this guy's just walking. And all of a sudden,
That was always something that
them.
baffled me.
Yeah, Jason did that.
They're not
too.
Or
even-
Michael Myers. They're just, walking,
They're just
at a
walking.
very casual pace, and everybody else is
But they're,
literally dead
they're
sprinting.
paranormal, though, is what the excuse is. They're paranormal.
I mean, this chick's running the 6-minute mile, and this guy's just walking like a snail, and he catches her and cuts her head off.
He knows the shortcuts, man.
Like all the classics I will watch. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's one I have no desire to ever watch. Old, new, you'll never
Texas
get me to watch.
Chainsaw?
Yeah, it's just too much, honestly, for
Very
me.
gory.
I haven't seen like the one with Matthew McConaughey like all the way through. I don't think, but
Wait, what?
There's one with Matthew McConaughey.
The new one?
Yeah.
No, not a new one. It's old, but
Oh.
it's like real weird.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the new one with like, what's her name? Jessica Biel.
Okay,
That's the
fairly
newer
good.
one.
Yeah,
No,
like,
there's an older one with Matthew McConaughey before he got like
the
the
new one
original
also
one
has
was like
her-
from the 70s. So you're saying there's one in between?
Yeah, and there's like there's a family at the table, and he has like a messed up leg. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Like he
know
has
what
like
he's
one.
talking
He has
about?
like one Forrest Gump leg. Like with
I
the brace.
was running.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so there's a commercial, remember, that kind of is based on, or it's making fun of the exact topic we're discussing.
Yeah.
Where they're like, let's hide, he's coming. And they hide in the tool shed
Oh,
with
with
all the knives and
Geico
blades.
one.
And,
Yeah, the Geico one.
Hilarious.
Hiding that shed with all the hanging chainsaws. Yeah.
But there's a car running right here. No, don't do it. Let's go hide in the shed. We're dumbasses.
I remember being young and thinking like this was like before like I could watch scary movies like physically or mentally.
Yeah.
Like thinking I can do this. Like my mom would like let me watch it, and I was just overthinking. I was not overthinking, but I was way more confident than I actually was because when it got going, I was like, I'm good. Like
Yeah, you're like, I can't watch this.
Nope.
Can't watch this.
Yeah,
I'm
nope.
done.
Can't watch it.
I got to go to the bathroom, guys.
Yeah.
That's how I was with Jurassic Park. That opening scene of Jurassic Park. And,
Or what about the kitchen scene?
and the kitchen
with the
scene?
raptors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Yeah, where they're
two-
like
Jurassic-
tapping.
yeah, those two scenes I couldn't do, but like other than that, I'd be like sitting there watching it. As soon as I have it, like, nah, I'm out.
You can't do
Later, dudes.
you can do the
Jurassic Park
T-Rex
is,
though, where
yeah.
the T-Rex is looking in there.
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
Hey,
That didn't bother you.
That scene with the tapping,
The
you know,
tapping.
Katie, World War Z, when they're in that
yeah.
research facility, and it's like, all I gotta do is chat my teeth at Katie, and she's like, knock it off. It freaks her the hell out.
And that kind of reminds me. Sorry, we're like going from horror.
Yeah.
And
Ah,
it's,
who
it's
cares?
fine. But the Last of Us.
Yeah, it's a
with
good show.
all the
Yeah, I've never watched it yet or played the game.
Oh,
well,
man.
really, what it is like all these people get infected by this fungus.
Like a spores, yeah, that's
Yeah, and
And
so
it starts controlling her brain.
and they turn into like these fungus people.
Cordyceps.
yeah.
Yeah, and they can't see anymore, and their faces and heads are like they look like a weird
I've seen the
fungus.
picture.
Turns into
of it, yeah.
fungus.
And then
Mushroom.
basically they're using these like clicky noises to
Sonar.
Yeah, it's like echolocation.
Yeah.
And so like they'll be like I
And
don't
they're
know
talking too.
They're called
And they're
Have you
talking-
ever seen Descent?
They're called clickers. And so whenever you're talking about the Raptors or
Yeah.
World War Z, like those noises when you hear them, it's like it's creepy.
Have you ever seen Descent?
No.
It's
That's
very
out of my realm.
very similar to like as far as echolocation and scary monster type thing.
Yeah.
Which they're humans that like basically had went underground at some point during human evolution and like never came back up, so they evolved down in these caves and they use like howling noises and like movement to like and then they eat the people who got stuck in the cave.
Now,
It's a very creepy fucking movie.
That could be real. You never know.
No, I mean I guess it could be real, yeah.
You never know.
and now that you brought that up about going underground, to this day, one of my favorite movies is the original Tremors.
Tremors.
Yeah, Tremors.
I love
But
it.
it's like a
Classic.
comedy
Kevin Bacon
now,
and
right?
that is so good, huh?
It's kind of like a comedy horror
what?
now, isn't it?
Yeah,
they-
but back
they
when I
made, like-
first seen it, it was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Like I would
Like when the doctor and his wife get sucked underground in the car, or the jackhammer on the road, and
Yeah.
there's just brains laying there on the side of the road.
I remember playing Tremors as a kid. Like
was a
after
game?
yeah, and it was sort of like The Floor is Lava. But
You'd play
Tremor
with your
version.
buddies.
Yeah, but Tremor version.
How
I
does that
never
work?
played that.
You just have to hop from thing to thing like they did in the movie. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't touch the ground. Or
And if you
the
did,
Tremor
you got
would-
ate by the
yeah,
worms.
which are all fake, but yes.
Well, right, but in our imagination.
Yeah,
How do you
in
know
the
that?
imagination,
Man.
many people have been eaten by Tremors in my childhood.
I'm glad,
so many
I'm glad you're
lives.
still here with us, Brandon.
Never
Dude.
forget, dude.
Dude, and like as those movies went on, they got crappier though.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there was
Ass
there was-
Blasters,
there was
number
the ones that were above ground. And
Shriekers,
yeah.
Shriekers Island.
But I always liked the one dude.
Earl?
Yeah, the guy.
Or no,
had
not
the
Earl.
base,
No,
the guy
Bert.
had the base. Bert.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bert.
He had all
Remember
the
the
guns.
original one? You had Reba McEntire too.
Oh yeah, true.
She was in that?
Oh yeah.
I don't
she was
remember that.
Bert's wife.
And then she
Or
left
he-
him.
Yeah.
So going back to memorable movies with my family. The first one I think of is my dad really liked Grumpier Old Men.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
He loved that movie.
Gone fishing.
Yeah.
My,
Those
my
are
Bony Baloney.
Yeah, the old man.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is,
He
but
lived a long time, man.
he did well. He was also like in the Rocky movies. He's
Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey. Yeah. You're gonna eat lightning and crap thunder.
Yeah.
But
What was his name? Do you remember?
God,
No.
I could think.
I
I could
don't
think of
know.
it if we didn't need to know it right now.
Yeah, so could I.
It's an
But
interesting name.
He is like the light of that movie for me.
I just
like
no,
those
it's-
movies.
The
like,
the outtakes of him like
yeah, the
making
outtakes
all,
are the best.
of him making like all the jokes about
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
about his
I'll
wiener
take
is
you back-
hilarious.
Take you back to my place.
My
I'll
name
show
is
you my.
Walter Brimley, and I have diabetes. Because wasn't he in that too? I think.
no, I
No.
don't think he was.
Oh no, I'm thinking of
Oh.
Cocoon.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he is in Cocoon.
Yeah.
Burgess Meredith is
Burgess
his name.
Burgess,
Meredith.
yep.
My man-sized manicotti.
My peppy pepperoni. I've been to Hawaii. Oh, which island? I kind of want to lay you. I want to poke a pee-pee.
R.I.P. to that dude, man.
Classic.
The ending of that movie is so great. Whenever they finally catch Catfish Hunter.
Yeah.
The other thing is they name him after a baseball pitcher. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
that's a
Captain-
guy's real name.
Yeah, Catfish Hunter is a closer for the Oakland A's.
His name was Catfish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I had no
And
idea.
I remember. I don't know what baseball game it was, like playing video game wise.
It's in the show.
But it was before the show.
Oh.
I don't know which one it was, but I remember Catfish Hunter and like just playing with him just because his name was Catfish Hunter and I thought it was cool.
But like at the end, whenever they catch it and they release, like, oh, what do we do? Like, oh, we got to release him, and they let him go. And Jack Lemmon looks at it and goes, "What do you want to do? Want to get drunk?"
Yeah. Well, but they got to get back to the wedding.
No, that was. Oh, yeah, that is the second one.
Is that
No, it's
yeah,
the second one.
that's
That
the
is the second one, yeah, because their kids are getting married or something, right?
Their kids were going to get married. They decided not to, but they had already booked the venue and everything. So Walter Matthau and Sophia Loren's
Yeah, the
characters
the
actually
Italian.
get married
Oh, okay.
instead.
All
and so
right.
it's actually Walter Matthau's wedding that he's late to, but they had to go fishing that day. That's what they do. They go fishing. They're old men.
And you know the crazy thing about that movie is that they used to be on a show together, The Odd Couple.
They were
back in the day.
Yeah.
They've been in lots of movies.
Yeah.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. They're a great comedy pairing. They worked really well together. But yeah, so that was one of my favorites with my dad. My mom and I really enjoyed. Oh no, hold on. Well, I got one more from my dad. Major Payne
Oh, I love Major Payne.
with Damon
The
Wayans.
little engine that could.
Yeah, when he's trying to make
Yeah.
that kid feel better because he's scared.
Yeah.
He's like,
Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo, choo.
And then Charlie's all over
One
the
tubby
place.
tubby, two tubby
I
tubby.
can't feel my legs.
They ain't there.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Deathman. Let me say this again. If you do not answer me when I'm talking to you, I will kick you in your butt.
And I loved when he did the robot for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, his arms dangling.
And
I don't know.
I didn't. Okay, so as a kid, when I heard that song, and they're playing an edited version. On the edited version, it's 2 live crew, but the song on there's Pop That Coochie.
They have it edited.
And then when I'm an
live
adult, literally 25 years later, I was like, oh, I'm gonna look that song up, and it's Pop That Pussy.
Oh,
And then I'm listening to that song and listen to the whole lyrics. I'm like, holy shit.
shake it, don't break it. It took your mama 9 months to make it.
I had no clue how dirty that song really is.
I know
until
too many
was-
of the words.
Yeah.
And I learned them at a young age when I should not have known
It's
them.
a great song. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's very vulgar and has a lot of
But
sexual reference.
the
but
wording and the way it's put together, it is a catchy song.
It is.
I would agree.
It is. But yeah, Major Pain, me and Dad would just cheese out over that. We thought that was so funny. But my mom really liked more like heartfelt movies, and she introduced me to The Never-Ending Story. And that movie,
Movies.
Well, the
first-
original.
no.
the original is my favorite. 2 and 3 are okay.
I'm sorry, I got mistaken. I was thinking of Land Before Time.
Dude, there's like 18 of those.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
dinosaurs
I was like,
in
the
Never-Ending
movies.
Story.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, Never Ending Story. I remember Never Ending Story.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like that movie, man, that I don't that's my first movie where I like actually bawled because he's trying to get through the swamp, and this is early in the movie, like 30 minutes into this movie. This kid's trying to get through a swamp with his horse, and his horse basically just gives up and just doesn't want to go anymore. And you slowly watch this horse just
Yeah, it was like
drown
quicksand.
itself.
It was quicksand.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that was devastating for me. Like,
It was.
Supposedly,
Artax was the name
yeah.
of that.
Supposedly, though, the book version of that death is like way more horrendous and like way more traumatizing.
What is it about it? Do you remember? Or
I never read it. Like I just was like reading like
the horse gets eaten or something.
no, it was the same thing, but like the way it's drawn out in the book and like the details are like way worse. Like, I mean, I was reading about it on a Reddit post, and they're like, it traumatized like a lot of people reading that section versus the movie. They're like, oh, the movie's not that bad. You should read the book. And people were like, what? So they read it and came back like, yeah, fuck the book.
Yeah, I do love the movie. I like that it's lighthearted and it has a good ending. And, but yeah, those are like some key movies that I remember watching with my family. What about you, Shane?
Well, to piggyback off that, The Nothing Can Fuck Off. I hate that wolf.
The Nothing?
Yeah. That was one of those ones of like,
The
I'm
Gamork. That's what it's called.
Yeah, but I would run and hide behind the couch every time it came on. Every time like they showed it, I would hide behind the couch, and like my mom had like knitted blankets, so like pull up the blanket. And, like,
Yeah,
look
so
through
you
the-
could, you could see through it.
Like barely watches. Like if you can't see me, he can't get me. Anyway,
Do you remember like they had a sound whenever the Gamork would come on? It was like,
don't remember that.
hold on, I'm gonna pull it up, but hold on, Gamork sound.
I'm holding.
See, I don't even remember that much of the movie for some reason.
I'm
I seen it so young and maybe didn't.
I'm gonna try to connect my phone real quick.
I'm surprised Joel even knows this movie because he has seen hardly any movies.
I know I'm bad.
He's terrible.
Really?
Wait,
He just watched Rocky for the first time like a month ago.
He hadn't seen Rocky.
That's
Oh
what he
my-
told me.
I hadn't until last year.
And he still hasn't seen any other ones or Rambo or anything
wait,
like
wait,
that.
hold on.
even
I've
watched the-
seen Rocky 1 through 5 now.
Okay, now.
Now, so once you
and I saw-
got a little taste of Rocky,
I did, and Rocky
you hit the
1
road, right?
And now you want
right.
to watch Creed.
Listen, Rocky 1 through 4 are really good.
Yeah, you should just stop there. 5 can go wipe
5
ass.
is terrible with what's his name?
Tommy Gunn.
You know, Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn. That's still like,
Or-
it's
What about Balboa?
not
Did you
horrible.
just watch
It's like
Balboa?
a good.
I haven't seen Balboa, and I did see the first Creed, and I want to see the next 2.
Yeah, they're good.
Which
Yeah,
is
they're pretty good.
They did a good job.
I watched the third Creed the other day.
Oh, don't spoil it for me. It's on
I'm
my
not.
hit list.
all right. This is the sound of the Gamork whenever he would come on.
Oh, the lightning?
No, just wait. You'll hear it.
At the same time, elsewhere in Fantasia, a creature of darkness also began his quest.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills thinking about that.
Yeah.
The violent. Yeah, dude.
I still don't like it.
I got chills.
For some reason, the beginning of that reminded me of this Wu-Tang record by Jesi, Liquid Swords. Like, it starts out very similar.
Really?
Yeah. I'll have to show it to you sometime.
Yeah, dude. You're gonna have to.
But it's more like it's a kid, but it's from a kung fu movie
yeah.
that they sampled. But yeah, I'll have to show you that. It's very similar to the start of that for some reason.
That's probably where they stole it from.
No, it's from a kung fu movie.
What?
But the kid sounds very similar.
Yeah. Did you watch any movies with your mom or your dad?
For some reason, I can't think of anything because I need to. But I'm sure there's movies, that if I had more time to think, but offhand, no. But I remember, like, the first movie I seen in the theater was Jurassic Park.
It was your first movie in the theater?
Yeah, it was, like, scary. But not non-enjoyable. Like, but it was actually...
Thrilling.
It was more horror than, like, when I watch it now, it's more of, like, an enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was, like, whatever Spielberg was trying to do,
It
he succeeded.
It had multiple areas of the
Like
movie
jump
where it was
scares,
super scary.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth.
Like in the
between-
electrical room.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I love
Where
hold
the
on
arm
to your
comes
butts.
down.
Hold on to your butts. You got to have a cigarette in your mouth
Yeah.
while you say that, though.
Dude, Samuel L. Jackson, underrated character in that.
Yeah.
Newman.
Say the magic word.
Dude, there's like not conspiracy theories, but fan theories about like the whole Newman, and he survived. Well, not Newman. His name wasn't Newman, but like he survived, and that's why the new Jurassic Parks even exist.
I heard they're coming out with another.
They're starting a new series.
Yeah.
Another series?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're starting a new series.
Jurassic World, another one of those.
Yeah, but the dinosaur, like, remember the old Jurassic, not the old Jurassic Park, but it's old now, but like the dinosaur, like they make a park in the United States and they get loose.
Like one, or like two or three?
Well, they made
Yeah,
a Jurassic
yeah.
World and a Jurassic World 2, I believe. And Jurassic World 2, so the original one, they had a park, like, that,
Isla
it was like
Nublar.
a
They
amusement park
remade
again.
the main island.
But then dinosaurs get out in the catastrophe, and then the next one is humans cohabitating with the dinosaurs, and now they got another one coming out.
Which are the dinosaurs, I believe, have somewhat taken over.
Yeah, I think it's going to end poorly for mankind.
They got to win, man.
That's what I think.
They always win.
Yeah, dinosaurs always win.
But I heard
How about-
this is going to conclude the series.
Have you guys seen the like new Planet of
Nukes.
the Apes movies?
No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the new one.
Like the old one, obviously, is a classic. The first old Planet of the Apes is
In the 80s, you're
a
talking
classic.
yeah, with Charleston Heston.
I rewatched those recently, and I know I'm getting off topic here, but
It's whatever. Just talk about whatever we got.
I
whatever we want.
rewatched the old ones recently.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching those with my dad. There you go. I got me a dad movie, Planet of the Apes.
You
But-
watched those with your dad?
Yeah. My dad introduced me to them, and the first one was awesome because I rewatched it recently, and then when I watched the rest of them, which I think there's 3 or 4 more, but they progressively got worse and like really crappy. And
Really?
I remember them being like way cooler when I was a kid. But
That's always like a bad thing. Like,
Well, the first one, I'm sorry, I cut you
No,
off.
no,
Go
no,
ahead,
no,
Joel.
you're fine.
I say the first one I thought was pretty good. Wasn't Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg?
oh, you're talking about
The newer ones.
I'm talking about the ones with Charlton Heston.
Well, I thought you said the newer ones progressively got
Yeah,
worse.
but then there was one in between, like the old ones and the new series. There was one in between, a one-off that has nothing.
Yeah,
to
the
do-
Mark
it's
Wahlberg one, and
Mark
that one
Wahlberg.
was-
That was by Tim Burton. I
And
believe.
that was
Which they tried to do the old thing where people were wearing ape costumes, like like it was
Yeah.
more like the old ones as far as like the new ones. Obviously, they're CGI.
Sure.
yeah. But no,
But yeah, there's a new series coming out, a new trilogy, and it's like way in the future when the apes have taken over the planet. But yeah, Planet of the Apes is one that I watched with my dad.
Yeah, I think, isn't the new one supposed to be more like when the apes enslave humans?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to be like when Charlton Heston basically
Yeah.
shows up in the first one. He gets there and humans can't talk anymore and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I love Charlton Heston's parts in that. Like, get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape. Get your stinking paws off me. You
Yeah,
damn
there it
dirty
is.
ape.
There's the line.
What's his name? Isn't there
They
one?
call him Blue Eyes, but it's
Isn't there one of them that like there's one ape that like starts everything?
Caesar.
Caesar.
Caesar,
And it's the
okay.
baby of Cornelius and
I can't remember her name either.
can't think of it. But they cover in the original first 4 movies how Caesar becomes the thing. Like the new series of movies, Caesar is created in a lab, basically.
And I like how the new series they do that. They give you like the whole like the actual real origin because the way the Charlton Heston one goes, it's like, oh hey, this is all happening because they went through a black hole and they.
It's like a time paradox.
Yeah, it's like a time paradox. Whereas like the new one's kind of like this is originally how it happened and how it started, and it makes wonderful sense. Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah,
'cause
the
it
old
actually-
ones has like you're your own grandpa thing going on with it.
Oh, weird.
Because
Yeah.
I remember the original, the new series, the original one. Didn't they just send an ape in a spaceship, basically, or in a time
That
machine?
was the Mark Wahlberg one.
Yeah, and that's how that started.
Yeah.
was with him.
But
Hey,
like
Ape,
this,
how's it
this,
going?
This new series is totally different, and
Right.
they're probably gonna. I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the
honest-
new series is very good. I recommend it.
yes, because they started out with what's his face, James Franco.
Uh huh.
Started out with him. He was in like 2 of them, I think, and then they had Woody Harrelson in one.
And there was the other main actor in that. I forgot what other movies he was in, but
Yeah, but they've had good people working in the movies, and there was maybe one of them. I think it was the 3rd one. Like, wasn't that great, but it still was the storyline, and
Yeah.
it made sense, and
yeah,
like it was still.
they all tie together.
and
perfectly.
if you followed the story, you're like, it wasn't great, but I mean, there's always one of those movies in every saga. Like Harry Potter, there's one that everyone's like,
Yeah, if you keep going, you're gonna
Star
you're
Wars,
gonna get
everyone's
it.
like, you know, it's all there's always something like that.
Don't ever say a bad word about Harry Potter, bud.
I'm not. I'm just saying,
Hey,
like there
I
is
love
one.
every single
I've
one.
seen
everyone.
I've seen
They are really good.
I've seen 2 Harry Potter movies. The first one and the last one.
That's
Well,
all you need to see.
So, like, I remember the first movie me and my wife ever watched together before she's my wife when we first started dating in 2001 was the original Harry Potter movie.
Oh,
at
it's got some sentimental value
Yeah, at the
then.
Globe Theater in Greenville. And then we just continued watching the whole series play out. And I wish they wouldn't have stopped when they did. And
But the story's over. The
Fantastic
story-
Beast is not.
I don't
as
like
good.
Fantastic Beasts.
The
It's not-
first
nearly
the
as good.
first one is good. After that, they're all poo poo types.
You don't think that she couldn't have wrote more books that was after
she didn't really write
Voldemort
those,
died?
did she?
No, they're. I mean, kind of.
They're like fan fiction,
No.
or like
They're based off of. I don't know how to put it. Like, she wrote a book called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is also one of the textbooks,
right.
and that's kind of how. And like, she kind of helped them write.
Well, I
the
was talking about
screenplay.
the Harry Potter in general. Like you said, it was over,
Well, yeah.
but I don't think it had to be over right there.
No, they're not making a new thing.
They're working. They're working on the newest one, The Cursed Child, but that's about all they're doing.
Yeah.
They should make one with Harry Potter, and he just fell out of favor, and he's just middle-aged man.
Oh, there's
fat.
people have written fan fiction like that, like that he turns
he's just a
into
loser now.
Yeah, that he's a
Sort of like what they did to Luke Skywalker,
dude. Don't
which
get me
they
started.
should have never
did.
did.
They
Don't
did.
get me started.
They did
that's
him
a
dirty.
whole other. That's a whole other thing. I think why I liked the full Harry Potter series more than I liked Fantastic Beasts. For me, just the characters are better. I love the characters. They're relatable, and there's good plot in every single one. And in Fantastic Beasts, there are some okay characters. I don't like that like America's wizard and witch like Congress or whatever it is, like they're super, I don't know, they just seem like giant a-holes compared to Britain's Ministry of Magic or whatever. I don't know. It also takes place in like the 20s or something
Well,
like that.
again, about the Harry Potter thing though, is like you got to watch them grow up. And you
Yes.
grew up
Yeah.
with them too. I mean, I wasn't that little kid when it came out. I was 20 years old when Harry Potter came out. But that was something that I got to watch them grow up and grow up myself until I was about 35 when the last one came out or whatever. You know, so it was it's kind of like was trying to explain to one of my kids the other day, a lot of the shows that they watch today and they are big fans of, it's because as they grow up, the show evolves and gets darker. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Just like everything else. So, I mean,
Just like wrestling.
yeah. I
It's
guess.
probably why I liked Boy Meets World so much, because I started watching it at the same age as Corey, and then as he got older, like I stopped watching it, but like I bought the box set and I started watching it again. Like I watched his college years and everything, and I was like, oh man, I went through the same struggles as that guy did.
But it's like the first Harry Potter. You didn't watch anybody
Are you hearing that clicking
truly
too?
horrifically die.
Like a spring noise.
Is it a spring?
That's just. Did you hear that just now?
Yeah, I heard it. I don't know where it's coming from.
What is that?
Is there a ghost?
Oh my God.
Paul's invoked a spirit.
Damn it, Paul. I hate when you do that.
Damn
I
exorcist
keep
dog.
hearing it, but it's so weird.
Yeah, I just wonder what it is.
Hold
that's
on.
all.
Just. It's their mics.
It might be me.
Is it your soda?
I bet
Is
it's
it-
his ice melting.
Yeah, pick it up off of that and just see if maybe, like, we'll give it a second.
No, that wasn't it.
It's mostly mic 3, which is Pauly.
It must be this cord.
Maybe?
I don't know.
This is an interesting part of the episode.
Maybe the headphone cord is hitting the red cord. I don't know.
Or it's hitting right here.
Okay. Just move that away. All right, cool.
Is it like getting moved by like the
It was
the air
banging.
moving?
It was banging against the metal frame of the table when I moved my head.
All right.
Hey,
Sorry,
it's not a
Brans.
ghost. It's just
not a-
us.
Hey, Branson.
We're just idiots.
maybe we could edit that part out.
Yeah, we might edit that part out, but at least we're at, let's see, 101.
We're at about an hour.
good,
Yeah.
good time for me to take a tinkle.
Yeah. So we're
Tinkle number 2.
we're gonna hit the pause button and then we'll be back in just a few minutes.
And I'm going to miss everybody.
187 was a lesson for those.
And I
I
miss my
want
Uncle
to
Charles, y'all.
Dude, that's such a good song. Crossroads.
Meet me at the crossroads, crossroads.
And I'm going to miss everybody.
I'm gonna miss everybody.
That's so good.
Tell me what you
Okay,
gonna
so-
do.
What you gonna do
When there ain't nowhere to run.
when there ain't nowhere to run?
All right. So the next category is do you remember your first cell phone? If you don't know the model, just describe what it was like and maybe some of the games or features of that phone. And we'll start with Paul.
I feel like we're all going to have the same one, but let's see.
What? You talking about my flip phone?
Oh, yeah. Do you remember like
What
maybe?
features were on there? You had to hit 4 buttons to get to the letter you wanted.
Do you remember what brand it was at least?
Yeah, T9.
Dude, I have no clue.
Your first cell phone was a flip phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a Zach Morris phone. That's how old he is.
Well, first of all, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. You probably had a cell phone way before I did. I remember when I got out of the Army, I was working for a communication company, and they're like, you have to have some form of communication for us to get a hold of you. Well, me and Katie were broke, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. We had a kid. I had a mortgage, and so I got a pager.
You got a pager?
Yeah. And you could put in certain digits to send certain messages. So it'd be like, please call me now, or emergency, or things like that if they just dialed a certain number of digits.
Yeah.
And we're talking about early, I'm going to say 2003 to 2008. That was my predominant form of communication. I stop at a payphone, throw some quarters in it, and call whoever back. I didn't have a cell phone until probably 2009, 10.
Wait, you didn't have a cell phone until 2009?
Probably 2008, 9, somewhere in there, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
was it,
That's
though?
incorrect. That's incorrect because let me think about it. So in 2007, I took a job as a supervisor for the communication company I was working for.
That's when Every was born.
in Fenton, Missouri. And maybe, okay, you know what? Every's born in 2007. So I bet it was actually 2006 because I had a company cell phone at that point.
Okay.
And they gave me a company cell phone. They gave me money at least towards my cell phone bill because I was a supervisor at that point, and I had to have my text be able to get a hold of me. So it was probably 2006,
Okay.
but it was definitely a flip phone.
You don't remember the brand?
LG,
LG, Motorola,
I'm guessing Nokia.
Kyocera, Nokia.
Yeah,
And
That
it was
comes
a,
to
it
my
was a
head.
flip phone.
Yeah, it was.
All right. What about you, Shane?
I don't know what these ninjas were doing a while ago.
Yeah, dude, they're over there doing.
We're playing charades.
Making,
We're just
giving
playing
each other a
charades,
bat
dog.
signal over here.
Okay, so do you mean my personal cell phone or the first cell phone that I used?
Yeah.
Yours,
Yeah,
like
yours.
Not like
The
the
first
one
one
like
never
you
touched.
didn't like you.
So the one that I paid for, that was my responsibility.
Oh no! I mean, your parents could have paid for it.
Okay, so
but it was
first
in your
phone that
possession.
You possessed and used
so
for personal use.
I'm gonna go bang, bang, bang.
Bang.
So first one was a Nokia yellow phone. My friends called it the banana phone. I think you might remember. I had it in my
remember it.
freshman year.
Yeah.
So I had that for a little bit. That was Stacia's phone that she got for a little bit, and then she went over to Germany. Then my sister Jen, she got a different blue Samsung flip phone that I used for a little bit, and then I was like, "Dad, this sucks. I want my own." And he's like, "We'll get a job."
So
I
you
said,
had
"Okay."
hand-me-downs.
Yeah, I had hand-me-downs. So then I got a job, and that's whenever I went to Ram Telecom in Greenville, and I got myself a LG flip phone that had like a little mirror on the camera, so I could take pictures of myself. And
Dude,
I took
early days camera phones.
I took a lot of pictures of other things too, if you know what I mean.
Like your food?
Dude,
Yes,
this
my
guy,
food.
This guy.
Pervert.
You friggin'
Fucking pervert.
I don't
Alright,
care.
what
You
about-
know what? Because my face isn't attached to it.
You
so no one
remind
knows.
me of
No
Bernie
one-
Sanders.
Except for that part where you said your name at the beginning. And people
Yeah,
just
but
Google
there's
you.
no name or face attached to any of those pictures, so I don't care.
Oh, the pictures you sent. I thought you meant
Yeah.
like nobody knows you. Like, is if they listen to the podcast,
Yeah,
they couldn't. Find
Nobody
out
even
who
knows
you
what
were.
pictures I'm talking about.
I
I'm
just
talking about feet
misunderstood you.
pics.
My bad.
I'm the original foot finder.
Foot finder.
I
Foot
don't-
finder. What?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
This guy, man. I don't know what.
How about Branson?
Well, my first cell phone ever, I bought on my own. I worked at Walmart, and then they had the track phones there, and it was that original
Oh.
Nokia. They could just survive anything.
Oh, the razor.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was called a razor, but it was just a block.
No,
Oh, that's Motorola. Never mind.
Yeah, it was a
I know
block,
what you're talking about.
block of plastic. The
Oh, yeah,
OG
that one.
Nokia that everybody talks about.
That people still buy on
It
eBay.
had Snake on it, I bet.
Snake had Snake. The cool ringtones that
Ringtones.
Well, they weren't like ringtones, like as in when things progressed, where it'd actually be songs. It was like beeps and boops.
Yeah. You know which one I always think of? I always think of Axel Foley. That.
Did they have that one on
That
there?
was a really popular ringtone.
Yeah.
No, it didn't have that.
Oh, but I'm just saying, like that
It
was
just
one that people.
what was that? And if you could get them, I didn't know how to get them at that time, but it was just what was on the phone was on the phone.
Yeah.
But there was many. That phone lasted so long, and I had bought it on my own. It was a track phone, so it was like pay as you go texting plan basically. Didn't ever really have minutes, but like you could drop that thing. There'd been times where I was walking with it in my hand, it'd hit the side of my leg and just fly 20 feet across the parking lot and bust into a million pieces, and they would all snap back together and still worked.
Dude.
But like eventually, like it quit working after all the torture. Like it was the most reliable phone probably ever made.
That shit sounds
But-
military grade.
It probably
It wasn't. It
was.
was-
But it.
Japanese grade, but
Yeah.
like it didn't even have that. I don't think. I can't quite remember. But Jesi said she knew what it was. It was the one that had lights on the side.
Rain?
There it is. Oh, somebody's calling me.
But it was
basically
just
that.
an old Nokia phone. Like the antenna was just a hard piece of plastic. It didn't extend.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the one you're like,
That was useless. That barely did anything. I think people just like
Well,
okay,
because they were used to the old '80s block cell
that
phones
had like
had
the TV.
it was like
antenna.
this.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was the first phone I ever had, and then from then on, after that broke, I got I would just get hand-me-downs through like friends.
Yeah.
I had like a Palm Pilot at one point.
Ooh.
Like it
That's
was
fa-
it was
that's
like
like
it was a
old
fancy
smartphone.
phone, but
The problem I have with phones nowadays, I know I'm cutting you off and then we're jumping ahead, is I think the phones are so much more advanced than the user that I don't know probably 50% of the things my phone can do.
well, I don't
Yeah.
know about you. But
It can
I make
actually
my
X-ray
phone my
for you
bitch.
too. You can take an X-ray of your foot.
I'm just kidding. This phone does so many things I don't know what it does. Like there's always something new. It's like I don't know what this I'll see something like in a video. I'm like, I didn't even know it did that.
Yeah, literally, people would be like, "Oh, dude, it's pretty basic." And I'm like, "What?"
I know
I have
one
no
thing it
freaking
does.
clue.
It spies for the Chinese.
Yeah, well, I know it tracks my every freaking movement and it knows what I want for dinner, but
It does. It does. My first cell phone was a Motorola flip phone. I don't remember what it was. I just remember it was like a gray, like a dark gray color, and so I got my first cell phone in 2004. Okay, I had just gotten my license, and my dad felt better about if I was out, he could at least call me. And
After 9 o'clock, though.
Well, because back then, if you were a Verizon and you called into the Verizon, it was okay. You didn't count against your minutes. I remember asking your friends, "Hey, what do you got? AT&T or Sprint or Singular?" Remember Singular before?
Yeah, because I would buy
AT&T
it
bought 'em.
with a track phone or whatever. It was like under certain companies, I believe, and
Yeah.
I'd buy a certain amount of minutes. But some of the people, it would be free to, and it wouldn't cost me the
And that was important.
prepaid.
Yeah, I wonder how many people became closer friends with people because they had the same carrier, and you were allowed to talk to them more. Yeah. And I don't know. I also remember I got my dad paid for a 250 text message package, which
didn't last long.
it didn't. It did not.
and if you went over,
It
you
was like
paid for
10
it.
cents for every one that you sent. And I think back, dude, I can go through 250 text messages in a fucking day.
That's the thing is
Now.
with the track phone though, is when you were out, you were done.
You had to pay. Yeah, you had to go get some more.
Time to pay up.
And the thing was, too...
That's a more responsible way to do it, though, because
And
it's easy for people to get carried away
Yeah,
and
that
True.
you know.
have a bill they couldn't pay.
And the other
That's
thing
true.
was, like, Verizon, they also advertised, because I did the same thing, like, and I was paying for my own, and my dad, like, I got into several issues because I had to be like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, can you help me pay my cell phone bill this month?" But, like,
Not
was the-
you. No.
no
way.
no. But, like, it was a responsibility. Like, I was in charge of it, and Verizon always advertised like, "Oh, we'll send you a message whenever you're getting close to your cap." Nah, they never sent you
nope.
a text message.
Nah, hell
They
no.
just said that.
No
Wait till you're
way.
over. Like,
They
oh,
made
you're
so
on a-
much money in the beginning of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was
But
ridiculous.
that's how all the companies do it. Even like with like internet, like just you go over your usage.
Data and
Like,
things
oh, you
like
got
that.
fast internet, but you don't realize you got a cap,
yeah.
and then you're going over a gig and it costs $15 each time. You know?
I'm trying to think of try to think of the different promotions. So the first one I remember is like after 9 o'clock, free minutes, and then like AT&T dumped
I remember
it down.
that.
AT&T dropped it down to like 7 o'clock, and so like Verizon and AT&T obviously super huge through this entire thing.
So it was a clock measuring contest.
It was competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, clock measure.
Yeah. And then remember Friends and Family? You could add
Yeah.
certain people that weren't in your
Your circle.
to your circle. That was like another feature. And crap, what are some of the other the Nextel chirps, the
I remember when that was
walkie-talkies?
like real popular. They made a rap song about that.
Early 2000s.
Remember
Very
Bruce
popular.
Mobile whenever they
Don't
had
hit
the
me with that
walkie-talkie
next
phones?
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a rap song about it.
Who is
That's
it?
how popular it was.
This is another off-topic
Yeah.
conversation. Which celebrity am I thinking? Oh, Eminem. That only uses BlackBerry to this day.
Yeah.
To this day.
yeah, so he can write down his raps like in his thing.
He
like,
buys like 10 of them at a time in case one dies or some shit like
Yep.
that. He has like exclusive rights to BlackBerry phone, even though they don't
I
make
know
them
this
anymore.
is off topic, but
Yeah.
on topic.
Yeah.
Have you seen the BlackBerry like movie or series that there was about the invention of the BlackBerry?
No.
Yeah, and
know
it
there was
involves
one.
like iPhone taking over. It's
Right. Yes. Because BlackBerry was
actually,
like the initial
yeah,
like
Yeah.
initial smartphone,
groundbreaking smartphone
Yeah,
technology.
it was the first like smartphone, and there was like you got to watch this movie. And Glenn
Yeah.
Howerton, who is in Always Sunny in Philadelphia as Dennis, is in it as one of the main characters. But it's a really interesting
Yeah.
movie.
I did see that. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw part of it.
Yeah. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
And Glenn
I do.
Howerton's bald in the movie. Like he plays like
Weird.
an older guy.
And now BlackBerry's not a thing, but Eminem still.
Yeah, BlackBerry still exists. Though,
It does.
on the stock
It does.
market at least. I don't
Yeah.
know if they still make product, but
Research in
maybe
motion
Eminem-
is what they're called.
Eminem's keeping them alive or something
he
like
is.
that. Like why we're talking about first things we
Yeah.
ever had. I have a good idea.
Yeah,
What about our first car, man?
that's a phenomenal one. Start with that.
Me?
Go. Yeah,
Oh, I got to go first.
you don't have to.
I'll go first.
Mine's
You go
screwed-
first?
Mine's pretty
Let
screwed
him
up.
go. Mine's kind of
Shane?
multifaceted. I got like
Okay.
So is mine. But
Shane,
like, I'm fine with
Maybe. Well, should I go first since I brought it up?
I'd love to hear what
I
you had
should
to
fall
say.
on the
Fire
grenade
away,
since it was
Branson.
my idea.
fire.
I'm the one
On the
with all
grenade,
the
is it that bad of an idea?
Yeah, grenade, sword, whatever you want it to be. I'm falling on it.
How about a
For
grenade
you guys.
sword?
So
it stabs you and then it explodes.
Swornade.
A swornade? How about a?
Oh no, it's
how
a
about a
swornade.
gourd?
Do your Arnold
Gourd.
Schwarzenegger impression. Watch out for the grenade. Do it. You can
Get
do
to
it.
the chopper.
Get on the grenade.
Get on the grenade.
There you go. All right, but first cars. My first car was a Plymouth Duster, which is a kind of a
What
rare
is
car.
that?
It's
Speak
a
of
rare
the
car.
year.
It's like
Speak
a
of
little
the
bitty,
year.
1994 Plymouth Duster.
There you go.
It was only made for a few years, and it was like I don't know what the other make of car was, but there were two cars, and it was like Plymouth was under what company is that, Paul? The
Dodge,
Plymouth-
Chrysler.
Dodge Chrysler. Well, there was a Dodge, something that was just like the Plymouth Duster, but the Plymouth Duster was slightly different. It had a spoiler, had like a V6 engine, in a car that was way too small to have one in it. Like at one point, like I had peeled out so much that I ripped like there's like things that I had ripped the engine mounts from the frame from peeling out so much. And I just remember having that car, and I should be dead because of the car, but somehow I survived. But there was many good times with friends. And the reason I just wanted to bring up the car was because it had like a tape player in it. I remember making mixtapes so I could listen. Like CDs were out then, but I didn't have a CD player in it. So I had to make mixtapes, and I had like Nelly on there with like Country Grammar and Pimp Juice, and then also and also on the same time on that the same time on that tape, I had like Linkin Park on there, where they had the cover where the guys
Jay-Z?
the cover where the guy I had Jay-Z was one of them. Yeah, now that you
No, I'm
mention
just
it,
saying like the.
but it was the cover where they like hybrid.
Hybrid
Theory.
Theory.
Yeah, was one of the things on the same tape. Like it was Hybrid Theory on one side
One of my favorite groups.
and Nelly on the other side, and I had the CDs, but
You had CDs that could play on both sides.
No. I had CDs that I recorded to a cassette tape because all my car had was a cassette player.
Okay.
So I took Hybrid Theory, recorded it on one side, and the other side was Nelly, the Nelly album that had Pimp Juice and shit like that.
Nellyville.
Yeah, Nellyville.
That was a good album too.
That was like my first car, Plymouth Duster.
Wow.
And there's tons of story about the Plymouth Duster, like tons of stories that revolve around the Plymouth Duster.
Oh,
that we're not going to
please.
get in tonight.
We're
We're not going to
saving
get
that
into
for another
tonight.
night?
We're just talking about our first car.
Man.
I can talk about younger times and things I've done, in the future.
You know, I got fucked on my first car.
Go ahead. What
You
was
got
your
I ain't
first
gonna
car?
lie.
fucked on
I
your
really
first car?
did. This sounds terrible. My dad fucked me over on this first car, man.
Dude,
I said fuck me over because I didn't want to say fuck me on this first car because
I had to
people
pay for my car.
Make their own
Yeah.
persuasion. I know, but I paid for this piece of shit, and I didn't even want it.
You didn't want it?
No. So one day, I turned 16. My dad was in Granite City and found this piece of shit 1989 Cougar. This is white.
Okay.
He brings it home and says, I found you a car.
Were you asking him to find you a
No,
car?
I did not ask him to find me a car.
he just decided.
He just wanted to do something nice for
He
you, though.
found a car and he brought it home and he says, now that'll be $400. And I know $400, but I was 16 years old and I gave him the $400.
I think mine was like 1,300.
Yeah.
This thing, you light it up or start it up and it smelled terrible of like burning oil. Well, I drove it to like Old Ripley and it started getting hot and I bring it back home and I check the oil and it's like out of oil.
Oh, no.
And so like for 2 weeks I tried to drive at school and I'd go down 140, it's like 12 miles from
Yeah.
where I grew up to Greenville. And that first day I pulled in the parking lot and the damn thing's so hot. I get in the bottoms of 140 and the thing's drops from 60 to like 35 mile per hour, wouldn't go any faster, and I'd be late for school. I'm like, what the hell is going on with this thing? It would stall out on me, basically. Well, it was eating about a quart of oil for every 12 miles I drove.
What?
Yeah. And so I had to put a quart to get to school and a quart to get back. And I told Kevin about it, and Kevin was in vocational because he's a mechanic by trade. And he's like, well, if you want, I'll take it to vocational in Vandalia, and it could be one of our projects. And he looked at it. His teacher looked at it, and they're like,
you bought a couple gallons of oil to get it to Vandalia.
dude, every day I drove it, it cost me a quart of oil there and back to school. And
That's crazy.
they're
That
like,
it could just burn it up
oh,
like
dude,
that, you know?
because all the valves are leaking.
Yeah.
It's
It's just
burning
basically-
oil.
Yeah.
It's burning oil.
Oh, to be young.
So Kevin said, hey, the instructor and all of us looked at it, and he's like, this thing needs to go to the scrapyard.
You're fucked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I gave it to the scrapyard for $100, but I paid my dad for the full amount. I got to drive it for like 3 weeks of school.
Damn.
It was the
Damn.
biggest.
So you didn't have much sentimental value.
No, that car meant nothing to me because I didn't pick
Dude,
it.
I somehow...
Now, my next vehicle, I'm sorry to interrupt, Branson.
No, I interrupted you, man.
My next vehicle,
This is your true first car, by the way.
my true first car.
True.
My-
Sentimental value. That's what we're talking. We're not talking about a piece
Right.
of shit that ran for 3 weeks. This is
If
your
any-
car.
I like that
Right.
story, by the way.
And it was one of my favorite vehicles. The next car was one of my favorite vehicles. So, everybody here pretty well knows where I grew up, and it was like my parents and my aunt and uncle and their kids, and my aunt and uncle and their kids, and my grandma and grandpa. So everything on both
And
sides
their
of the road
kids.
for about what?
So
half,
a cult.
about everything. Well, so it's not a cult. So
No, it's family, dude.
I mean,
You
like,
guys- everybody
just
stuck
family
together.
land.
back in
Everybody
the,
stuck
back in the
together,
day, there was like 400 acres that belonged to my great grandma.
Yeah.
After my great grandpa died.
Yeah.
And she handed it down to my grandpa when she passed, even though he bought his place, built his house, raised his family, and all that in the 50s. So everything on both sides of the road now belonged to grandpa when grandma dies, or great grandma, that is. And he sold a piece to this daughter and a piece to this daughter and a piece to this daughter. And then my mom actually bought his brother's old house when he died, my Uncle Paul. And so that's where I grew up. So everything on both sides of the road was family ground. So my Aunt Kathleen Kill lived right up the road where my great grandma actually lived her entire life. I got pictures from like 1944, 45, somewhere in there, where the land is just vacant, like pasture ground.
Nice.
Nowadays, you look at it, it's all timber. You
Oh,
can't
really?
see nothing. Back in the day, you look at the pictures, you can see
I wonder if there's like still
hills.
foundations out there.
you can see valleys and hills and all that
Yeah.
of nothing but pasture.
Wow.
Now it's nothing. You can't see it. It's all timber.
Yeah.
But they tore her house down, which I grew up in for
Mm-hmm.
about 4 years when I was like 2 to 6. It was just a 4-bedroom house, no indoor toiletry. You had an outhouse, well. It was
No
just-
plumbing, basically, is what you mean?
No plumbing. Kitchen, bedroom, living room. That was it. No running water, nothing. So anyway, I lived there, that house. They tore it down. They built a log home. Well, so then when I was in high school, my uncle had it was a 1991 Ford Ranger, just standard cab, manual transmission.
Nice.
That was a true vehicle I wanted. And I love that little freaking truck. And when I went in the Army, I let my brother drive it. And he drove it for 2 more years, and he loved it too. And I came home and was like, you know what? I got money in the bank. I'm making money every month. I'm going to buy a vehicle. So I went to Vandalia when I was home on leave. I went to the dealership, the Ford dealership, and I bought an F-150. And the only thing my dad ever said that was like truly true, and he said, you're never going to listen to your old man, are you? Is because I bought a truck, an F-150, 95 F-150, which this was in this is 2000. In
Okay.
2000, I bought a 1995 F-150 for $15,000. It had low mileage, but I paid 4.8% interest
yeah.
because I was 18.
'Cause you
with
was young.
No credit,
I've done that.
but a paycheck
Yeah.
from the military, and I paid like $489 a month for 5 years on a $15,000
Yeah,
vehicle.
way too much.
Hey, I paid that sucker off, and my
Yeah.
credit went through the roof.
Yeah.
Now I have an 8.
It's like, all right,
40
we
something.
fucked you. We'll give you a good credit
It
rating.
helped my credit rating, but
That's
it,
good.
it really took my money.
You
but
bent over. You took
Well,
it well.
yeah, I think like $89 a month went towards my principal payment, and the
Oh.
rest was interest. But hey, lesson learned.
That's
But
all
that
right.
1991 Ford Ranger was my favorite vehicle, and I wish I never got rid of it. I traded it in. That was the whole point of that, for that truck, and I wish I'd have kept it. It was a bad little beast.
My first car, so when I first got my license, there was already a family car that everybody, my dad bought it, and then my sister drove it for a little bit, and then when she got a different vehicle, it was a Cougar. It seems like that was a really popular first car for kids.
Well, Cougars were reliable back then.
They were.
I've heard about this Cougar, by the way.
My mom had
I
a
don't know
Cougar.
any
I've seen this
stories, but
Cougar.
I've heard people talk about.
Are we talking about his mom?
No, I've heard people talk about his Cougar.
get
Maybe it
outta
was
here.
Heather talked about your Cougar. I don't know, but
I only
I
drove
knew
it-
you had a Cougar.
I only drove it for like 2 or 3 months because I remember the day I saw. So the real car, my first car, as you're saying, was a 1996 white 1996 Pontiac Firebird.
I've seen that too.
Ooh.
Not a Trans Am. A lot of people always say, "Oh, you got a Trans Am." No, it was a Firebird. So Trans Ams were V8s, Firebirds were V6s, and I didn't have T-tops, which is another like really key feature of like 80s and 90s Firebirds and Camaros and things. But it was really cool. I remember I was working at IGA,
Damn right
and
you were.
I was carrying out some groceries because that was one of my first jobs at IGA. And the person, I was loading her groceries, and I knew who she was. And I was like, man, I love this car. It's super cool. She said, that's awesome. Do you want to buy it? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, I was getting ready to put in an ad. She wanted $6,000 for it. And I was like, can I get your number and I'll talk to my dad about it? So then I did, and my dad helped me finance it, and my payment was, and I don't remember what it was for the car exactly. I mean, $6,000 is not a ton of money, but I remember my dad bundled in my insurance with it. So in 2004, I'm guessing. I remember having to give him like $65 every week. So over the 4 weeks, that's what, just about $250, $260 for payment and insurance. And that was just to pay him back. I think he paid cash for it. I don't remember getting a loan, but I drove that Firebird all the way up until I bought my house. Like, that was my car. So from 2004 up to 2009, and then I still had it, but I had gotten a few other cars after that. But I had, I got a lot of attention from the ladies with that car. It was a lot of fun to drive.
So
Yeah,
you might have like drove down to Elizabethtown in that Firebird.
yeah, probably once or twice.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I bought my house. There was a first-time home buyer's credit that they were giving out. There was a government program to help stimulate.
We did that back in 2004.
And I got $8,000 cash. And so got that in my bank, and then lo and behold, another car at IGA, somebody who works at Nevco, he's got his Mazda Miata out front, and it's got a for sale sign. And I've always loved Mazda Miatas. I thought they were really cool. They're really tiny, very tiny sports cars.
Was it a convertible one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
Oh, yeah.
convertible.
Yeah.
Some of them come with hard tops, but this one didn't have the hard top. It was green. I remember it was like kind of like a dark forest green color. And I love that car too, but that's probably the car I drove most to Jesi's whenever I lived, or when she lived down in Carmine.
Was that the panty dropper, the Miata?
No, I don't need a car for that. I got the Riz, you know what I mean?
Oh dear God, please stop.
All right.
boy.
But the Firebird was, I took good care of it. I loved washing it and detailing it.
Did you scrub it real good?
I did. And actually, a couple of my close friends at the time, the people I hung out with the most, we all had like, so I had the Firebird, and I remember Travis had the Camaro, the green Camaro. Nobody, I know Shane's rolling his eyes, but Travis was a guy that we worked with at IGA.
What was
And-
his? I can't. Yeah,
Well,
don't
we're
say his
just-
last name.
we're-
No
we're-
last
we're-
names.
we're
Tell
trying
me,
not
tell
to-
me afterwards.
We're trying not to do last names there, but
Tell me afterwards. Yeah.
anyways, Travis and Shane didn't really get along very well, but I got along with him fine, and he had
He was just a fickle friend. That's all.
well, fair enough.
Was he older than you?
No,
No,
we
he was
were all
my
in the
age.
same grade.
Okay.
Okay, so he had the Camaro, and then our other friend Danny had 2 Mustangs. He had a red one, wrecked it, and then he got the yellow one.
Yep.
Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. And secretly, I've always loved, not secretly, but I loved my Firebird, but I really wanted a Mustang. So I was kind of jealous that Danny had cool Mustangs. And his yellow one was like, for the time, for how old we were 16.
It was a
and
brand new Mustang.
it was a brand new one, like one of the newer early 2000s models. It was yellow.
You were green with envy.
manual.
I was.
My dad had a yellow Firebird around that time.
Did he?
Yeah, and it was a T-top, but no, it wasn't a T-top. I don't know if it. No, it was not a T-top because it was a cloth top, and
So it was a convertible
It
then.
retracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a yellow Firebird, and his license plate was the bad guy.
The bad guy?
Yeah, it's
Uncle Bad Guy,
No, it was
dude.
Razor Ramon, like
Man.
like wrestling,
Oh.
the bad guy.
I hate to.
My dad has had all kinds of numerous like weird cars throughout life. Like right now, he still has a convertible. He doesn't drive it much, and I'm not like, I'm almost. I don't want to say I'm embarrassed, but I don't know if he's doing it as a joke or he thinks he's cool or what it is. But
Yeah.
it's this Pontiac. It's not a Fiero. It's a Pontiac Sunbird.
Yeah.
It's a Pontiac Sunbird white convertible, and he's put a vinyl Pegasus on the hood.
Dude, you gotta
now
get to see a
that's
picture of that.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
panty dropper.
I love my,
Yeah, dude.
I love my dad, but I don't like. I hope it's. I would do it as a joke, but he might think he's cool. I don't know. Maybe I just never wanted to ask because I didn't want to offend him.
Joel,
Now he's gonna hear this. He's gonna ask.
I'm never going to show this to him.
You're not.
No, because I don't like to like. It's a weird thing that I keep like certain parts of my life from certain people. I mean,
That's deep.
There's things that I don't necessarily let you into my life about, but
That's true.
But I have lately, like as far as like music recording and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
become more comfortable. You just like. So when I was younger, which is way the fuck off topic, and this is
No
very,
big deal.
very, very,
Just go with
fucking,
it.
very fucking natural for our podcast here on
Yes.
Best Forking Friends, as we go off topic a lot. So just get used to it, guys.
It's an adventure.
Yeah,
and you're along for
yeah.
the ride.
You go here, you go there. You know,
Lots of
put some
side
pads
quests
on
in
the
this
walls and get
journey.
ready, baby. But like when I was younger, I wanted to be like an actor or director. Like I wanted to be in film. Well, when I'd bring it up to like around some family members, I'd get made fun of. Like I was going to an audition at one point, and I just remember them so then you don't want to open up as much. Like you know what I'm saying? You don't want to like.
you encapsulate yourself.
Yeah, I don't want them to think I'm stupid. Like.
Yeah. I know. There's a lot of
Like-
people with closed minds that are from those generations.
Yeah, I don't want to say they got closed minds, but like maybe they're right at certain points in time. But at the same time, it's just like I want to like there's a certain kind of relationship that I keep it in a box, I guess you would say.
Because you don't want people to criticize you.
Like it's going good the way it is. I'm not being fake to them. They just don't know certain things about my life.
Sure.
And when I used to work at Ascendant, our old boss, like didn't know things about me like that either. But I think you like shared something with her at one point, and she said, "Well, you're like an onion. You have like many layers."
You have a lot of layers.
And I was
then
thinking,
we're still
I
peeling
I
them
was
back.
thinking, I am like an onion, bitch. You cut me, I'll make you cry.
What?
Wow.
Wow. Were you just trying to set all that up for that joke right there?
No, it just
Oh, okay.
happened.
That's
I've said that
natural.
joke before.
I wish
Like,
you really
talking
said
about
that to
that.
somebody instead of.
Did
just
you say
telling
that?
us.
I don't think I said that to her.
You were thinking
I just
it.
thought it like automatically. I thought I was like, I am like an onion. You cut me, I'll make you cry.
That would be funny.
Like in that voice in my head as well.
Voice.
Nice.
Just try me.
Man.
Not
All
gonna
right.
say your name.
So
I really want to know.
I think
that, I really did want to know that Travis's guy's name, and I could have bleeped it out. I'm glad we moved on. But in the future,
you didn't work with him. He had
No, that
No,
was
but
me. That was me. I will have it again.
but in the future, like we can say names. I'll just bleep it out, and it would be fun to have our first bleep. Like
I'll just
Travis,
pull him up on
boop.
Facebook and
No,
you
don't
can-
do it now. We'll do it later. Let's keep rolling, baby.
All right. So the next. Oh, Shane didn't tell us his cars.
Yeah,
It
you're
doesn't
just
really
leaving
matter.
Shane out. Oh yeah, Shane's
Tell us
car
about
doesn't
the beer
matter.
can.
Yeah, screw your pussy ass car, Shane.
The first car my parents bought me was
Yeah, exactly. I have.
No, Shane works for his shit. Come on, let's hear your story about your car.
I can
I know
honestly say I have never bought a car.
Really?
Correct.
Man. I love your parents, dude.
I do too.
I do too.
God
wish
bless
they were-
Larry and
I wish
Susie.
I had
Did you hear
parents
that,
like that,
Larry?
man. For
Hey,
real.
I'm Shane's friend, man.
They're like, you graduated high school, here's a car. You graduated college, here's a car. You graduated college again, here's another car.
Yeah, but he did goals and like got things. I
agree.
can't say I've done any of those
and
things.
if my
so.
parents had been in the same financial position as his, they probably would have done the same thing.
They
They just
would.
were not.
Oh, dude, I know that my mom, like,
If they
if
could,
she
they
had
would.
the means, dude, I don't know if I'd be spoiled, but she wouldn't, like, there'd be things that I would have had that I didn't get. But yeah,
Sure.
All right. So with that, I'll run through it real quick. The first car I ever drove was our '93 Ford Aerostar XL van. I drove that
yeah,
through,
baby.
drove that
Hot,
through the
dude.
what color was it?
black and gray
Black
because
and
we
gray.
we bought it in
Did it have
California.
a line down the side like
Yeah.
the wood? The
No,
wood
no,
thing?
it was black
Oh my
with the
God.
gray stripe.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
that
know what you're
wood?
talking about. The wood
So it
grain.
wasn't
Yeah.
like that.
So I actually, my brother was the one who let me drive it against my mom's wishes. I literally drove it from our driveway over to our rental house driveway. And he was like, "Yeah, never again. You suck at driving." I was like, "Okay."
And
But-
nothing's changed.
Fuck off. The first car that I drove after I got my license was a 2000 Corolla that I actually wrecked about 2 months later, totaled. And at that point, my dad was like, "All right, well, we're not in a position to get you another car, so you're going to drive our old," and this is the car I drove the most, was the first car they ever bought as a married couple back in 1981, a Toyota Corolla.
And this
that-
was your high school car?
Yes, I drove
The
that.
beer
I drove that
can.
for the majority of my high school until my senior year. So that happened in my sophomore year. So I drove the Corolla, which my brother drove and both my sisters drove. That car was so light. The track team, I don't know if you remember this, but the throwers lifted up the back end and moved it 180 degrees. That's how
Really?
light the car was. Yeah.
I did not see that, but I like during that high school time, I did move a car with some people.
It's probably that.
I don't know if
You moved
that
the
was
car?
Well, not just me.
Right,
It
but
might
like-
have been Shane's, like, and I didn't wasn't really close with Shane, and I wasn't part of the
You
track
said,
team.
fuck
But
that kid in his car.
no, I could have been there, but I do remember like at one point people got together, and maybe this is just a kid thing, and maybe it's not only Shane, but
It
maybe
was
that's
probably
just
my car.
something we did because we live in fucking Bond County.
No, it was probably my car because it was really light.
Just something we fucking did.
Like when I grew up, we tipped cows. You moved cars.
Did you really do that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Did it hurt the cow?
I remember weirder shit than that. Like
He's a
going to the-
maniac.
yeah.
I remember,
Anybody who doesn't know that's Chris.
I don't know why this
yeah.
even happened. I remember this is an odd story, and it's way off topic. I remember when I went in the Army and I came home to visit. One of my buddies came home to visit as well, and we met up with him. And me and my cousin picked him up, and we go to the grocery store, and he starts buying packs of ground beef. And we're this is not made up either. We're driving down a local highway here. I'm not gonna say where because maybe somebody had some problems with this, but we pull off the side of the road, and this guy gets out and he starts balling up a bunch of ground beef, and he starts chucking it at sheep. I'm not making this up. Like snowballs of ground beef. Like he's just throwing them at sheep in the middle of the night.
Are they asleep?
Now they're standing there in their freaking little pasture area.
Why do you have ground beef in the
I
middle
just
of the
told
night?
you.
He bought it to throw it.
He bought it to throw it.
We went to
I missed
IGA
that
thinking
part.
he's really wanting a hamburger. He buys a shit ton of ground beef, and he tells us to pull over, and he gets out and he starts balling up ground beef and throwing it at sheep off the edge of 140.
I wonder if this is something he had done before or he thought it would work.
I don't know what
What did he think it was going to do?
I
What
don't
was
know.
special about the
Other
ground
than
beef?
smoking sheep with ground beef, I don't know.
Sounds like
'Cause
a good time to me.
he was
I'm in.
whacking the
Who
shit
wants to
out
do
of him.
it tonight?
He had a pretty good arm.
It sounds not kosher.
It might be though.
Yeah,
I think Jews eat beef.
First of all, he said,
And they eat sheep, too.
I believe before he threw the ground beef, he said in the name of God.
Yeah.
No, that's.
But did you know
that's
this?
embellishment. I
Did
don't
you know
believe that
this?
shit.
You can't put cheese on meat. That's not kosher.
that is not kosher. You can't mix the mom with
Mom
the,
with the baby, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like you can't have milk before you eat meat.
Yeah.
Joe's like, what the
What
fuck
if
is
what
going
if,
on?
what if the
That's
mom
more Jewish
made the
culture, yeah.
cheese and also was the
Because the milk is
You
for
can't have
the
milk
baby.
and meat in the same meal.
Don't even try to incept yourself right now.
Okay, all right.
Milk
I
and
don't
meat.
know much about kosher preparation. No.
Well, obviously you haven't read Leviticus.
Oh man.
Dang it. Well, we haven't gotten to that episode yet.
I'm just kidding,
Bible
dude.
study.
Oh man.
Next time it'd be a hoot.
All right, how about on next episode?
On the next episode
four.
of Best Fork and Friends, Leviticus. You can't eat shrimp.
No
You can't eat any
pork.
bottom feeders. You can't eat anything with an uncloven hoof.
Stop with it.
No catfish.
No, no bacon.
No fish without scales.
How do you know so much?
Branson's
about this?
kosher.
I'm not kosher.
used to be.
I try
He
to be. I used to
experimented.
be
He experimented
kosher
with kosher.
because in high school, I was a part of a cult, basically.
You told me you had a phase.
Oh,
Like,
can
it
we
was-
hear more about that?
Like it was
pepperoni,
weird. I
no
was in
bacon.
a group of friends that, like, it was a weird alt, like it was an alt religious Christian group. Like, you had normal like kids who went to regular Christian schools. We read the Bible on our own, and
Yeah.
went around school like preaching almost. But at the same time, we'd go get like drunk on the weekend or something.
So
It
this
all
is
makes
how
sense now.
So this is how you know so much about Leviticus.
He has
Yeah.
told me this part of his past.
But
Do you know
Yeah.
a lot about the Bible? Actually,
no, I wouldn't say I do anymore. I'd say it's mostly like it's like most of my life where I forget a lot of parts, but there's certain things that I do remember.
Wow.
Like I used to read, like me and my friends thought that the world was going to end in high school, and I read Revelation a lot, and I got these actually like old magazines that came from like
The Sears catalog?
these old like church like commercials like of evangelical people. I'll show it to you
Yeah.
sometime. But it's like conspiracy theories on YouTube before there was YouTube.
Yeah, they did have a
Like,
platform.
they're
so yeah.
interesting, and I always kept them just because, like, and obviously now I know that I'm not saying that the Bible's not real, but like a lot of those conspiracy theories, the world isn't. Obviously, the world didn't end. Like, you know, and it was just a phase. I was young, impressionable. So
Well, and you also were trying to find community and belonging.
no, we already had the community. We just collectively became a cult together, I guess.
Gotcha.
I don't want to call it a cult though because it was Christian based. Like, I guess
Oh
there
no,
can- I guess
It could still
there's
be a cult.
absolutely cults. That
there
are
wasn't like
that.
no cult activities though. We just read the Bible. You
I mean,
know?
hey,
And we just read the Bible a lot, you know. We're just kids. But yeah, that's how I know a lot about like Leviticus. Read a lot of Revelation. Paul was born in a barn. He left the door wide open.
He tried shutting it.
It's okay. I'm just giving
It's-
him shit, and nobody can even see this. But
No.
yeah, yeah.
Imagine a
But,
door
dude. I
you
used,
walked through.
So like we thought the world was ending, and dude, I would read Revelation over and over again. But honestly, right now, I told you more about Leviticus than I could tell you about the Revelation book.
Interesting.
yeah,
Well,
Branson has shared that part of his
I
life.
didn't
with
know
me
about
before.
that.
No.
All right. So we're gonna go into the realm of music for a little bit, and I didn't tell you this one. This popped in my head. I want you to think of a song that maybe has been covered, and just pick one that maybe you like both, or maybe you like one and you don't like the other, and which one you like more, and maybe talk a little bit about it.
I got one right now.
You got one? Go for
I
it.
got one too.
But it's
baby.
probably not a very popular one, but Bad Criminal, Alien Ant Farm. I love that damn
Smooth
song.
Criminal.
Smooth Criminal, yeah. I'm
What did
sorry.
what did he say? Battered
Yeah,
criminal?
bad.
Criminal.
I said
Bad
Bad
Criminal.
Criminal.
Oh, bad criminal.
I just misspoke.
Even
Yeah.
better.
No, I'm bad. He's like,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just.
it's still Michael Jackson.
I just
like,
tripped.
he just mixed them both.
He mixed them both
Yeah,
up. It's
I
an
mixed them up.
easy,
Yes,
common
but Alien
mistake.
Ant Farm,
Who's
Smooth
bad?
Criminal was a really good song to me. But I liked Alien Ant Farm. I thought they
I had
covered
to
it
do
really good.
You thought that they did a really good job with
I
their
did. Smooth
more
Criminal.
alt rock style with
Yeah.
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
She's
you like
bad.
you like both of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I grew up listening to my mom. Literally, I remember that story I told you in that little 4-bedroom house, no water, nothing like that.
Your great grandma's place.
Yeah, my great grandma's place. My mom used to have a record player in her bedroom, and she would spin Michael Jackson records.
Heck yeah, dude.
So that's where I learned a lot of the songs I do know.
I'll go the one that comes to my mind that's the most memorable for me is Turn the Page. The original one is by Bob Seger, and the cover that I like is by Metallica. It's on their Garage Inc. Like, they did a ton of covers on that album. And I like Metallica's a little bit better, but I can see the argument for both. Like, a lot of people are always going to advocate that the original is always the better song because that's what it was.
Yeah.
You were saying that a second ago that you actually like the cover better of Smooth Criminal, but
I do.
and I also like the cover by Metallica better because I don't know. I think I gravitate more towards that heavier sound, which is why I like Metallica so much. But the best part about Bob Seger's version for me is that haunting saxophone hook.
Oh yeah.
You know what
And
I
they
mean?
don't have that in the Metallica version, do they?
They kind of do it on the guitar, but it's not the same feeling.
What made the difference for me in like the Alien Ant Farm was there's technology's advanced. There's
Yeah.
more intricacies
Yeah.
involved that makes the quality better.
That's
in your
true
regard,
too.
like you said, it's the opposite, but they put more time into paying attention to those qualities that you liked. Sorry.
No, you're good, dude.
Yeah, you're good. I'll just cut it out, bud. Don't worry. I'm gonna cut this out.
Cut
right here.
it out.
Which
Remember
part?
that?
I'm not gonna cut this out.
I
the
was
part that
saying
I'm trying
sorry
to-
because I didn't bring
No,
the
you bumped the
microphone
mic.
close.
Let's leave it in. Leave it in.
Leave it in.
Leave it in.
Leave it in. Who
That's
gives
what
a
you said.
shit?
That's what you said.
Who gives a shit?
Whatever.
I believe they also covered Thin Lizzy on that album, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Whiskey in the Jar.
Yeah.
Which is-
Whiskey in the jarro.
Yeah. Also a huge song from Garage Inc.
Yeah.
So is that your song?
Is that Thin Lizzy?
No. Is that the choice of
Oh, my
Covers?
my choice of covers would be All Along the Watchtower by Bob Dylan and
Jimi Hendrix?
And you could argue that Jimi Hendrix is better in this situation, but
Yeah.
there would be no thing without.
I think
Bob
more
Dylan.
people
Like,
recognize Jimmy's.
yeah, more people will recognize Jimmy's. Like, I didn't know that was a Bob Dylan song for the longest time in my life, which I learned, like, not recently. Like,
Yeah.
I learned, like, 15 years ago or whatever. Not too long after I got into Jimi Hendrix, I just researched him
Right.
more. But yeah, that's one I would pick.
I'm what? My Bob Dylan.
Oh, you got a Bob Dylan? Hey,
Yeah, I can kind of do a Bob Dylan.
all down, all the way, going on at the Dan.
Well, I'm
Well.
drinking that liquid death, singing these singing songs.
You're now tuned in to the Bob Dylan podcast. We're all Bob Dylan.
Welcome to the
here.
fucking friends.
Fucking friends on
Best
my...
fucking friends around.
Shane's trying to lay Sofia Vergara across his big breast bed.
Which one would you marry? Fuck you.
I got a feeling.
And
I
nobody
wouldn't
knows
listen-
that because that's probably cut out of the podcast right about now.
We gotta cut that out.
I
Like I'm asking a question now.
I suddenly came to the conclusion why I don't listen to shit by Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Bo can't even hear out of his own ears. It's a sad, tragic tale.
That's so good. All right, Shane, you got a cover song?
I don't know how to like. There's so many covers that I do love, but like trying to think of a cover that I like the original as well for this scenario.
Yeah.
As a lot of you guys know, like I like my metalcore or my screamo music. So I actually pulled up 2 albums that I remember, and it's Pump Goes Pop, and
Oh yeah.
and one of them, like the one that I really remembered, but the one I like the most, I don't really like the original, which is, let me get to it, is I Don't Want to Live Forever. I don't really like the original song, but this version by Ice Nine Kills is amazing. I love it. But if I had to pick one that I like both versions, it's going to be Love the Way You Lie with Rihanna and Eminem.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love that song just in general. But this one's also covered by a band called Skylit Drive. And
You'll have to show me that, man.
it's one of my favorite songs to listen to, both the cover and the original, just because they do it so well. And a Skylit Drive is a band that I would love to see live, but sad story, they broke up because one of the band members, their dad was embezzling money because he was the manager, and he stole
Dude,
half
it's
their money.
crazy how much that happens, like, and ruins so many great.
And-
There's probably so many great musicians we never seen because somebody took all their money.
Well,
you know, and just
I mean-
threw them over.
This is off topic. It's not about music. It's about sports.
Go ahead.
Look at Shohei Ohtani right now.
Oh,
There's something else
his
going on there.
Interpreter.
I don't know about that.
There's something else going on there.
I don't know. You can't just put him in a Pete Rose category when somebody else has got access to his accounts.
Reinstate Pete Rose.
Okay,
Amen.
so if you haven't seen Branson, Shohei is being accused
I
of
know about
sports
it.
gambling,
Yeah.
right? But his interpreter had access to his accounts and was what? How many
Yeah.
million? A couple
Millions.
few $million.
16 million.
Yes.
Yeah, because he had a gambling issue and was using Shoei's account to send money to these bookies. And Shoei's like, I didn't know anything about it. This guy's interpreting for me, which I kind of
Supposedly.
get. The guy has a
Well, the interpreter
He
might have been
has.
like, "Oh, this guy said that you need this for
right,
this certain
and
thing."
he don't know any different. He don't speak fucking
Yeah,
English, man.
maybe
That's why
he
he's got an interpreter. You know what I mean? You got to trust the people that are around you at all times. And this guy is being paid what for? Shoei's been in Shoei's been in the league for what? 6 years, 7 years?
Has it been that long?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while. It's a hot minute.
I mean, he still can't speak fluent enough English not to have somebody represent him in the form of a interpreter. And if that's the case, I have no reason not to believe the guy. He went up in front of the media and explained the situation. Now, somebody else also interpreted his response.
his
but-
new interpreter.
Yeah, and I honestly believe Shoei in this circumstance.
I don't know who to
I
believe.
don't believe. Just you look at his mannerisms, and you're like, I don't believe this guy had any involvement in this. I don't think he had any knowledge of it. I really don't.
How did we get over to this convo? From cover songs?
About embezzlement and things like that.
Oh,
Oh yeah, because of Dad. But yeah,
I'm sorry, I said it was
No,
off
no, it's
topic,
okay.
but
was-
it makes me think.
No, it's okay.
How
I
many
was trying to
people's
remember how we got
careers
here.
could be ruined?
it's all good.
You know, somebody who I think of whenever I think of that scenario, somebody who got screwed over. If you have heard Dane Cook, he talks about how, like, why he's not big.
His brother.
His brother embezzled a ton of his money.
Yeah.
Right?
And,
And he's still well off, but
Yeah, Dane's doing good. He's a funny guy.
I noticed that he goes live on TikTok a lot, which
really?
is kind of cool. But like a lot of people in the comedy community, like don't necessarily respect Dane Cook's stand up because it's mostly physical. And now that he's gotten older, it's sort of like almost like a Carrot Top situation where it's a sideshow.
it was too gimmicky.
yeah,
It
it's
couldn't
gimmicky.
last.
Which Dane Cook in his time, in his prime, man.
Was gimmicky.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but,
funny.
he took over. He
Yeah,
was
but-
doing stadium.
okay.
He was doing stadiums.
He's vulgar.
And the people who would catch on to gimmicky stuff bit.
Yeah, I
You know,
did.
like,
I mean,
you know,
he's
I
got
thought
a-
he was hilarious.
He's got a vulgar stand-up, but he is kind of the same guy in anything he's doing, whether it's a movie or stand-up. but he's freaking talented. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
No.
entertaining. You can't take that from him. You can't take that from him at all.
Yeah.
My favorite part, like I seen Dane Cook before he was famous on Comedy Central. I don't know what it was called. It was not like no open mic. It was like they would get like
30 minutes or
30
something.
minutes or something like that. But it was physical comedy, and I've seen comedians make fun of this bit since then, like recently. And he doused himself like in water, and was talking about the movie Alien, and he was just like prancing around the stage, like hissing and like. But the way he was like for like a teenager at the time, it was funny, you know, and
Now you
that
think
was like his demographic.
It was different, too.
now
It
you're thinking
worked.
that's immature and that wouldn't have
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
today.
yeah. I understand that, but it worked at the time for me, and like you can't take that from him, is what I'm saying. Like he was an entertaining person. He probably still is an entertaining person.
Yeah.
Like it.
If they released a movie today and said Dane Cook's in it's a comedy, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'd probably watch it too just to see what happens.
Yeah.
But
He
my
probably just-
favorite
Yeah.
Dane Cook character was the Waffler
Oh, I know what you're talking
from
about.
Mystery Men.
Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Yes. He with his griddle of justice.
No.
And he like burns himself.
And he was in Waiting,
Yeah,
right?
was
What's
a
the
good
one where
one.
he worked for the warehouse company?
Employee of the month.
Employee
Employee of the
Employee of
month.
the
And
month.
then there was Good Luck
Really
Chuck.
great movie. Good
Yeah.
Luck Chuck was good. What was the movie where
He was all right,
took
man.
women out on dates and act like an asshole?
That was Good Luck Chuck, wasn't it?
Was that?
Yeah.
No.
Where he's with a ton of
That
chicks.
was Jessica Alba. Good Luck Chuck. She
think
worked for
that's
the
the
zoo.
hey,
same
man,
one.
that's the thing, man. Is Hollywood was using that man when he was hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
You can't say he was not entertaining, but Hollywood bled him.
My
And
bet-
like his brother stole all his shit.
The one I was
He's
thinking
got
about was,
kind of nothing to show for it.
wasn't it My
like what
Best
you're
Friend's Girl? The one I'm thinking about?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember in Good Luck
Um,
Chuck, there was a lot of sex.
the one-
Gratuitous sex.
What's
Sex.
I don't remember.
one of the
that.
characters from
Sex.
American Pie? The main character that fucked the pie.
Jason Bigg?
Yeah. He's in the movie I'm talking about where he plays the asshole that takes these girls on dates for money. You know what I'm talking about?
No clue.
Not clicking.
Okay.
I'm sure it
I mean,
exists.
I'm not doubting it.
I'm not the movie guy.
I like movies.
Look it up, dude. Find
I
out what
like
it is.
movies.
I like movies.
That's what Paul just
Movies.
I
are
like
good.
movies. Movies.
Mama
are good.
said these are my magic
Mama
shoes.
said I could watch these movies, but I didn't want to watch them. I wanted to go in the back room
I just kept running.
and watch the sex movies. You perverts.
Hey,
How dare you?
Disgraceful perverts.
How dare you blaspheme Forrest Gump? That's my favorite movie.
Dude,
of
did
all
you
time.
know that they had a sequel planned?
Yeah, because I think there is a second book.
Yeah, they had a sequel planned. It went through all different other time. Like, you know, he just was at. It wouldn't have worked though, man. It wouldn't have been as like. It was good that it was a one-off.
It was perfect the way it was. There was no need to add more to it.
Yeah.
Do you
And
want
one of the greatest? Like,
Yeah.
and now if I probably watched it again, I'd be like, this isn't as good as I
Yeah.
thought. But like at the time, very, very, very.
You're shaking your head. You don't like Forrest Gump?
No, I'm disagreeing. Like, it resonates still. Like, I still.
Yeah.
I watch it like every year.
Well,
Yes.
I haven't watched it in a long time. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it.
The-
Jesse is saying that she thinks it resonates still. I know no one can hear her right now, but she's right here, and she says she's disagreeing with me, but she's not disagreeing with me because I'm saying I don't know how I'd feel about it now. But
that's the one I'm talking about. My best friend's girl.
my best friend's girl. I don't know. if
Yeah,
I've ever
Dane
seen
I don't
Cook,
remember that one.
Jason Biggs and Kate Hudson.
Jason
That's
Biggs.
my best friend's girl. Yeah, he's basically a side hustle kind of guy where if a guy's having problems with his girlfriend and he wants to marry her, but she's thinking about backing out, thinking he's not good enough. Well, he'll hire this guy to go hit on her and ask her on a date, and he treats her so shitty that she runs back to him, and she's ready to commit. And that's what the whole movie's about. Well, his buddy is Jason Biggs, who's with Kate Hudson, but then he falls in love with Kate Hudson and creates a whole triangle. It's a funny fucking movie, though. You should watch it. He treats him like shit. It's
What,
good.
What were you talking about?
I don't remember. I was thinking about how much I have to.
Forrest Gump.
Oh, Forrest Gump, and how I don't know if I would feel the same if because I've noticed that I critique things a little differently than I used to.
Are you harsher now?
I feel like, well, I was definitely harsh on that Roadhouse shit the other night.
Did you not like that movie?
No, I liked it. I just didn't think it was Roadhouse.
It's not Roadhouse because in Roadhouse,
They call the bar Roadhouse, but in no way is that fucking Roadhouse.
I was saying in the original Roadhouse, they succeeded.
Where the
without,
fuck is Wade Garrett, man?
They succeeded without any gross killings, right? No, there was like no murders that were very graphic.
Knox got
nothing
killed
like
at the
that.
end.
Yeah, but I mean, like this movie was all.
And then they
murder.
brought him back to life in the credits. Like, come on, man. It wasn't Roadhouse, but it was a good movie for what it was, but it wasn't Roadhouse.
It was still good.
It's a good action movie. And I seen an article that said that Wade Garrett's character was Charlie.
Sam Elliott?
Charlie. Yeah, Sam Elliott's character was Charlie from the bookstore.
Which does not
makes
make
no
sense.
fucking, like I told you, this movie makes no fucking sense. It was a good
The
action
bookstore
movie.
owner is meant to be a correlation to the auto parts store owner.
Yeah, but the daughter of the bookstore owner is supposed to be Wade Garrett in the article I read.
The daughter?
Yeah.
The girl? The
Yeah.
little girl?
Charlie. That's her name.
I forgot that was the girl.
Yeah.
That's Wade
That's
Garrett.
that's what they say in this article I read.
Which,
Like it
Just
was the
like-
closest thing in the movie to the Wade Garrett
just like
character.
a lot of remakes, though, they don't completely correlate with one another.
I know, but it
They're trying to
definitely-
do something like their own twist.
Yeah, no, they made their own movie and it's not Roadhouse.
It's not, but it's the new Roadhouse.
But they call the bar Roadhouse in this, so I guess it makes it Roadhouse.
Yeah.
However, it was entertaining, and I did enjoy.
No, it was entertaining, and I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I
Gyllenhaal's
like his character.
Yeah.
Some parts I didn't like, were a little overboard. Okay, you're going too much in the character now. Some things don't make sense, but like all in all, some of the lines, like it was cool. Like it was
Yeah.
entertaining. I would say that.
And at most, honestly, as I get older, I care less about a freaking story.
You don't care about the story anymore?
I think that's what they were banking on.
I really don't care about the storyline anymore. I care more about being entertained by something.
Yeah.
If I can kill 2 freaking hours and I'm entertained, that's what I'm actually after. Do I care if the
Sorta like,
plot is well explained? No. As long as it's entertaining throughout the whole process, I can care less. And there's a start and an end. I don't like things
Yeah.
that are left and open.
Then you should try out this TV station called Kicked in the Nuts.
What?
Kicked in the Nuts. It's from the movie Idiocracy. You remember when he's watching the show?
Oh,
It's kicked.
ow my balls is what
Oh,
it's called.
ouch! Oh,
Yeah.
but
That's another
no,
movie.
no, like, dude, that's another good movie. Yes, but yeah, entertainment. Like, dude, the world's so crazy right now, Paul. I agree with you. Sometimes you just want to be fucking entertained.
I just want something to melt my time.
People don't necessarily have time to really sink into things as much. Points.
I don't
Did
want...
you watch the new Roadhouse?
Nah, I'm not interested.
Did you watch the old Roadhouse?
Nah.
Okay,
I
that's,
hadn't seen it, but everybody was talking about the new Roadhouse.
If you watch the new
I
Roadhouse-
watched the old one.
and you like action, and you like some funny little one-liners here and there, you're going to like the movie. It's
Yeah.
full of action.
I'll
It
be,
is a
I'll be
very-
honest. Like,
It's more like a
You know who's in it?
yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal and freaking
Conor McGregor.
yeah.
And
I'm
Conor
not- I'm
McGregor's
not
character
interested.
is ridiculous in it, and he dies, and you get to watch him die.
I can honestly.
No, he doesn't die.
I mean, I've heard the whole story.
He
from you
doesn't
guys, so
die,
I don't
though.
need
He
to
comes
watch the
back
movie
to
at all
life
now.
in the credits.
He
I
comes back
never
to
saw
life.
that. I watched the movie 3 times.
I haven't seen the movie,
You didn't
but
watch
you
it all the
guys
way
have
through?
just told me the whole story, so I'm not going to watch it at all now.
Well, you said you weren't going to watch it anyway.
Yeah,
Well,
Yes,
I'm
you
glad we could provide that in-depth synopsis.
Thank
for
you. I appreciate that.
Now, I think since this is the second episode that we've asked about this movie, anytime we have somebody new, you need to just ask them, what do you think about the new
Yeah, get all
like,
pissed off. You're like, have you seen the fucking new Roadhouse, dude? It's not Roadhouse.
and it's only when we have new people
No,
on.
it's not Road. And I had never watched Roadhouse. Like, I know the fucking joke, like from Family Guy.
Roadhouse.
Like, and I was like, I always thought that was really stupid for some reason, and I still don't get it after watching Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
I mean,
And that's just my opinion.
if you're watching a movie, you're not really watching for the freaking movie, or at least the storyline or the plot.
It depends on what it is, dude. Some of them I do.
Dude, I'll tell you this.
You read a book for
I
that
ro-
shit.
I
I
watched.
watched
I
Dune
don't
for the
watched-
story.
Yeah, I watched the old Roadhouse before watching the new Roadhouse. I watched the old Roadhouse, like expecting like no plot, no nothing. I was thinking like, oh, Family Guy. It's just this movie that they're like, oh, Roadhouse, and he kicks somebody. But I unsuspectingly got a plot out of the fucking movie. Like,
Yeah.
it had meat on its bones. And then when I watched the new Roadhouse, it was a dried piece of chicken. With plenty of seasoning.
Fucking Siskel and Ebert
I
over here
guess-
giving
I-
his review
I
of
gue-
the movie.
I
Plenty
guess-
of seasoning. Like, it tasted all right, but it was dry.
I guess when I
when it
watch a
came to
movie, I
story.
don't really care about the thought process. I want to think about just being entertained, and that's my perspective.
I was entertained.
Branson
I
got
seen-
a chicken
but
wing, and he wanted a chicken
Well,
leg.
I watched the
is what he
first one.
wanted.
I was like, oh, this has like it's more in depth than like I was thinking. Roadhouse was stupid
Yeah.
completely. Like I thought it was just some dumb fucking 80s movie, and it was more than what I thought it was.
Yeah.
And then actually, the new movie was more like a dumb 80s movie that was pure. So it kind of flip flopped on me, you know.
Well, speaking of Roadhouse,
Come to Texas Roadhouse. They have $10.99.
All you can eat rolls and butter, but it's not all you can eat. They will charge you.
If they would give me some free food to say something about them right now, I would. I love
dude,
that
for
place.
real, liquid death,
So good.
murder your thirst.
Yeah. Have you tried Uber Eats?
You just keep throwing things out there. One of them will pay us something, right?
Nobody's
Prime.
paying.
Yeah, Amazon. Give us some of that.
No,
shit.
Prime.
Prime. I'm smoking a Prime vape right now.
I don't know.
I don't
man.
know if they actually make it though.
I think Lost Vape by Orion is superior.
They're both great. Pay us money. All right, moving on. The next,
And we're not actually saying pay us money. That's not a paid advertisement.
it's
I would
not
just
a
like to
paid
say that.
advertisement,
No
but we would
correlation.
accept paid advertisements if somebody wants to.
Please contact our email address.
What is it?
I don't. I just had a blank fucking thought right there, dude. Dude, what is it? What is it for real? Hurry up! That's what my brain's saying. It like, come on, man, come on, kick it out, get that email out. Just Arlie Emery in my brain. Get up, you maggot! Think.
All right, so
No, it's
Well, there goes
best-
that opportunity for money.
yeah, bestforkandfriendspod@gmail.com.
that's it.
That's
yeah.
bestforkandfriendspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to email us about anything, like even if you're like, we're not
Yeah.
talking about solicitors, like advertisers. If you want to just shout out like anything to us, any questions, anything you think we
Yeah.
should cover.
Yeah.
And you can also find us at Best Fork and Friends Pod on YouTube
And on Spotify.
and on Spotify, which on Spotify it's Best Fork and Friends Podcast.
Hope everyone's writing these down.
No,
Moving
you
on.
know what? On YouTube, it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, that's probably how they're listening.
Yeah, but if you want to email us, it's Best Fork and Friends Pod, no cast.
No cap.
No cap, dog.
Yeah, no cast.
So we're gonna take everybody back.
Now I want to go fishing.
We're gonna take everybody back in time. Everybody here, I want you to.
Back in time, how far?
You're gonna find out. Probably about 20 years, maybe 25. All right, so you're 10 years old, and mom and dad are like, we're gonna pick up a pizza, and then we're gonna swing by the video rental store. Okay. Yes, the video rental store, and they say you can pick out a movie and a game. You can get both, right? For me, that was a treat. Well, it was I either got a game
One
or
or
a
the
movie.
other.
But they were like, you know what? You're having friends over, okay? It's 1997, okay? That's that. I mean, just think of how old you were at that time, and if you had a gaming system, or just if you didn't have one, which one would you have liked to play? And
Right.
what movie are you getting? Okay, you got to try to think of movies that were available from 97 and back. And in 97, the hot systems were the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 1. And I don't think Dreamcast was out yet, so you can't use that one. All right, so what movie are you picking and what game are you picking?
For me, that wasn't really a thing. I was 16 at that time.
You never went to the video rental store?
Very seldom. Most of our movies were copied from other movies. I mean, like we didn't go to the movie store and rent a lot of movies.
You never did?
No, and we weren't renting video games from the movie store. Yeah, that wasn't happening. And when I was
Okay.
16, then I just started playing hockey and chasing girls in other towns. So
Okay, what about you, Shane?
NBA Jam and Space Jam.
Oh.
NBA Jam was out way before the
Doesn't matter.
1997, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You can
I
still
would-
rent those.
Yeah, because I didn't own it and I never bought it, so I would always just get it.
That's a phenomenal game. 1996. I didn't have a PS1, so in 96 I had a Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
That was my system. And our local video games, there was two in town. There was Get Video and JC Video. And it seemed like if you liked one, you wouldn't go to the other one, like ever. You were pretty loyal to your movie store.
I feel like you were loyal to Get.
I was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. And there was a smell. I remember walking in. It's just like some weird rubbery plastic smell, but
She smelled like cigarettes.
back to Forrest Gump there.
Yeah.
What movie am I picking? Man, I mean, oh man, what was like a favorite movie? 1997. Maybe probably the Power Rangers movie, because until I actually got it for Christmas, that would have been.
forget how young you were then.
Yeah.
Because
I'm 7 years younger than you.
Perspective. Yeah.
And then I got, so then what game am I getting for the Sega? I did end up getting this game later, but it was a game called Rocket Knight Adventures. And you played as this opossum who had knight's armor, and he had like this like rocket pack. It was a platformer game. It was a lot of fun. Oh, or Vector Man. Vector Man was pretty fun for the Sega Genesis. All right.
With that, I got to step out. It's been a pleasure, guys. Papa's got to go to bed.
Shane,
Good night,
thanks
Shane.
for
Papa
hanging
Bear,
with us, man.
thanks for stepping
Good night,
in,
buddy.
Shane. Glad to have you, man.
We'll
Hope
post
you
this
come
up
back.
real soon.
And with that being said, Jesse's gonna hop in. and
Hey,
Shane's spot.
Branson. So Joel's question was in 1997, your mom and dad take you to the movie rental store.
All right.
And they allow you to pick a game and a movie to rent, basically. So think about your age back then and what you would have been renting as your movie or game.
Okay, movie, probably like, which I don't know if I owned it, but there's like, I probably may have owned it at that time, but there'd been a point in time where obviously rented Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The first one?
the live
Or
first
the
one live
Ooze,
action.
you know?
No, the first one live action. You're fine, Jesse. The first one live action, and basically, as far as like games, like in that time, I don't know what the game was, but it was probably in my day and age, it was Super Nintendo, and it was like this tank game. I don't know what it was called. It's some sort of desert tank thing.
Desert,
But there was
Desert
al-
Strike or something like
Yeah,
that.
and then there was also like another one where you were a helicopter.
Yeah.
That was a top down, but the tank one was like first person. But what I remember most as far as
Desert Strike.
like
yeah.
Desert Strike. So is what I remember most though is like my aunts and uncles taking me to video stores because they would like babysit me like on a weekend or something like that. So my aunt or uncle would be like tasked with that. And my Aunt Mary always tells me this story, and she took me to the video store, which was
Get Video.
not Get Video, it was JC,
JC Video.
when it was next to the laundromat.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right.
Long time.
And it had the upstairs thing, like the slope into the gaming area.
Oh.
Well, anyways, she wasn't gonna let me like take this game, like rent this game. So she said, "All right, I'm leaving. I'm gonna leave you here if you don't come." Well, she left, but just drove around the block. But I called her bluff.
You called her bluff?
Yeah, I called her bluff and would not leave, and I don't remember any of this, but she tells me it. So
We
I
were
gotta believe
such
it.
assholes, weren't we?
Yeah, so I was not fucking leaving until I got that shit. She had to call my grandma on a payphone and like I can't get him to leave, and it was a big ordeal. and I don't remember this, and I feel so bad for it. But like, she tried to pull one on me, but I was like,
I got you.
Hey, this is off.
You got her, dude.
This is
yeah,
off topic.
dude, I feel bad for that. But yeah, that like as far as like video rental places,
Yeah.
like that's not a memory, but I'm told about that. And that is the game, like Desert Strike on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or like there was another chopper game where you'd shoot like stuff like that. But that was the main go-to as far as like a tank game.
So
Yeah.
off topic,
Yeah.
but it's about the movie store, and I remember Get Video very well. Do you remember a little corner that had like a little door you had to go through? that
Oh,
had
the
porn
adult
in it?
section.
That's why
Yeah.
I made that joke about the fucking back room. a
Yeah,
while
they had
ago.
a freaking little like swing door,
Yeah, I remember it.
and if you went in there, it was like a little, I'd say like 4 foot by 8 foot little room
yeah.
that was lined on the walls with porn. With porn.
Bong.
Sorry,
Bong.
guys. With
Yeah, he
porn
bleeped
movies.
himself.
Yeah.
Line with bong. Boing.
But yeah, I was trying to make sure I wasn't fabricating that in my mind, but I remember that
No, they absolutely had
they had a
adult
porn section. Yeah.
themed material.
Yeah. Boing.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Hey guys.
Little bitty Greenville.
Jesse's
Hey,
here,
Jesse.
and she's
What
going to
do you-
tell us.
Yeah, tell us about your video rental
Tell us
experience
about
in
your
1997.
video porn experience. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't 10 in 96. I don't
That's what I
think.
said.
No, he
It
like
was
he said.
97,
He
97.
said, think back 25 years
He said
ago.
97, but then
And
he
I
spoke
instantly
about
thought,
96.
well, dude, when you were 10, I was like, well, my math's a little different.
Yeah.
Like, you get the gist. Like, think back to when you were 10. It doesn't have to be 25 years.
Yeah.
And
Or
he
whenever your first
specifically-
memory is.
Well, he specifically named the year 1997.
He
It's
did.
different for
I
all
did.
of us.
Yeah.
I just figured
It was
97 was.
1994.
I feel like 97 was like, for me, that was kind of like peak. But again, I'm younger, so maybe you guys think earlier. It doesn't really matter. Just in the.
No, just like, when you're a child.
Yeah.
So the video store for me was when I was younger than junior high, which would have been 96, 97 for me. Because I'm a few years older than you. But the video store, I remember being like really fun because we were planning like our family like movie night, me, my mom, my sister. And
Yeah.
oftentimes we didn't have things at home like a VCR or, stuff like that. So we would actually go to the video store and rent the whole VCR
I remember doing that too.
and the videotapes.
Wow.
Really?
I did not. No, I did not remember it until she just said it.
Memory
and
unlocked.
I remember,
Wow.
I remember having to rent a fucking VCR.
Yeah, it would kind of look like, how an old typewriter has the plastic case around it?
Yeah.
It would look like that.
And what's weird about that? After we had to rent the VCR, eventually, we upgraded to a hand-me-down from my grandma and grandpa, and it had the plastic case on it, and we would always put the plastic case, but it had a button that you press, and the tape thing would pop up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of you
Yeah.
put it into it, the thing would pop up.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember renting a VCR
Dude,
before we had one.
classic.
Yeah, we did that a
Wow.
lot. So we'd
Dude.
go, pick out our movies that we wanted to watch, rent our VCR and our tapes,
I mean, this
and
This
is
is
a big
go
fucking
deal.
home.
I mean, our first colored TV colored TV I remember as a kid. My mom and dad bought it.
Mm-hmm.
And the damn thing cost more than a 55-inch flat screen now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 19 inches.
I remember
Yeah.
my grandparents
19-inch
having a
TV.
black and white TV.
I remember 19-inch TV being like a big screen.
Yeah.
TVs were more like
Continue with
furniture
your
back
story,
then.
Jesse. Sorry.
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, we'd make popcorn, and and it would be like a thing. So it's a nostalgic memory for me. And whenever you don't have much as a kid, going and getting that kind of thing was
Fucking
special.
means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a special treat.
So, what is a core, one of those times that you actually remember the movies that you rented? Just
Oh, man.
one instance, if you have one.
I don't know if I can remember a specific.
They're just all meshed
movie.
together?
Yeah. I just remember
Which happens.
distinctly. But I remember what the video store looked like. I remember
Yeah.
where it's at in Rosaclare.
You can probably
It's
remember
not there
what it smells
anymore.
like.
I can remember what it smells like. And it was like our one video store in the county
Yeah.
to go to. But yeah, I remember heaving the VCR to the car,
Yeah.
because it's heavy.
But it was so exciting.
It was so
Like,
exciting.
fuck yeah.
And we knew
We're
we
having
were
a
going to have family
good
movie
night tonight.
Yeah, make popcorn. Yeah, we'd all sit around and watch
So
our
wholesome,
movies.
dude.
Well,
Yeah, it was good.
Easier, simpler times to make you satisfied with
Mm-hmm.
the life you
Yeah,
have.
I miss them sometimes, man. Like,
yeah,
there's
I
just
do
so
too.
much that goes on now, and
Well,
Yeah.
and we're so spoiled.
and it
that
may
we're
have been
not-
because I was a kid, so that like no matter what, that's better. But like at the same time, sometimes I wish I could just tone it back.
Yeah, I remember the TV thing too because I remember like the tiniest TV at one point when we had moved over to Jonesboro. We lived in a little duplex apartment, and we had not much at all. And we had a little TV on a stand, and it was black and white, and it had the like turn dial for the channels and the everything.
It was really hard to turn it.
Were you the channel changer?
Of course,
Were you the remote?
I was the
You-
youngest.
Like, dude, no, before remote,
I know
like
what you're
before
talking about.
everybody had a remote,
Oh
you
yeah.
were the fucking
No, there was
remote.
no remote. I was the remote because I was the youngest.
Yeah.
Did you ever have
Yeah.
to change, like, mess with the bunny ears?
Oh, we had bunny
I
ears,
remember
and we had
holding it.
aluminum foil on them.
I remember holding
Yeah.
it so it would come in for the people watching it.
Yeah.
and you just had to hold it.
Yeah, we'd take turns sometimes as kids, like holding the thing so the others could
Yeah.
watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
We are so
You're like
spoiled.
sticking your leg out and your
And this-
arm out. And you're
and
like,
that's all
stay
remind-
right there.
This all reminds me, if you had a working TV on top of non-working TV,
Yeah,
you might
Jeff
be a
Foxworthy.
redneck.
But we were.
But somebody, I knew somebody that actually had that. I went over to their, like, it was like right after Jeff Foxworthy came out.
Yeah.
And I went over to my friend's house, and they had a working TV on top of non-working TV.
Did you die?
And it was not like, well, I was like, I didn't have the concept of like dying laughing at people at that point. I was just like, holy shit, he was
But
right.
we were so happy with what we had back then, and
Yeah.
my kids, our
Yeah.
kids now, like he'll be on playing. He's like, "I'm done. The shit's lagging. I can't do this."
Yeah.
You know, it's like we're so addicted to the internet and what's available to us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know Joel's super
Oh, dude,
techie, but
I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm real techie too, because when the internet goes out, it's like, oh shit, what do I do now?
I'm like you, Paul. I'm kind of a boomer
What do I do
when
with
it comes to that
with
stuff.
my life now? But it's, you know, but
I don't know.
I
Go pick
find
some
ways.
sticks up out of the yard
There's
there.
things. I got recording equipment now. There's things to do.
I still have an antenna.
Like right now, we don't need internet for this shit, unless we
No.
want to post to it.
No.
I felt like I was so behind because of where I lived geographically. Like we were all behind everyone else getting the internet, getting a computer,
Yeah.
like even just people in the county. But when you're poor, it takes way longer to get things
Yeah,
than other people.
100%. I still don't know how to
so-
operate my phone.
I'm
I've had
like
this one
you.
for 5
I'm like
years.
50%. I know what I'm doing on there, and then the rest of it.
Joel literally tells me half the time he's not even with me. He's on the other end on his phone, and he don't even have the same device I have, telling me how to get to what I need to do what I got to do. I have no
He
freaking
does.
clue.
He does that to me too.
Sorry, I use it so much more, and I guess I just am used to it. I don't know.
You definitely are. You're more.
Well, I didn't have a cell phone until I was an adult, and that was because I bought it for myself.
And we talked about that earlier. What was your first cell phone? Do you remember?
Mine, I think it was one of those little silver Motorola flip phones, if I remember right.
You flip phoning ass motherfuckers.
That's what
He's
they
like,
had.
give me that brick phone.
They didn't have
but-
I got the brick
smartphones.
phone.
No, that was before they made the.
You don't want to let it alone. I got the brick phone.
It was before
Brick
they made
phone.
the Nokia one that you had, though, Branson. Because
Yeah.
when I was 20, maybe 21, I worked for a cell phone company in Iowa. And
Iowa?
Yeah.
What
I
the
lived
hell
there.
were you doing in Iowa?
It's her
I'm
ex-husband,
sorry.
so.
That's a long story.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't want to know.
That's a long story.
Pre-
We
pre-Joel.
lived there for a
Pre-Joel.
couple years.
If it ain't Joel, I don't want to know.
Me either. So we actually sold the ones that you were talking about earlier, the
Oh, I got you.
Nokia
Hey,
phones.
yeah.
So that was after I had gotten my flip one.
Hey, Joel or Jesse. If you love your life with Joel so much, why don't you rub his feet? He's got his shoes off. He's ready to go.
Gross.
Don't
Just
you
get
love
down
me?
there, rub his feet if you love him.
I don't love him that much.
Damn.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, at least you know she can take a bullet for you. You know what I mean? She won't rub your feet.
I would take a bullet for him, but I ain't touching no
Yeah,
feet.
shoot me, but I ain't touching your feet. You skank ass bitch.
Hey,
I have.
I'm not
feet.
gay, but I think I've touched your feet more than your wife has.
That's
Probably.
probably true.
I'm not a feet person. I can't do it.
No, I'm not either. I don't even want to touch my own, man.
Oh, I love
I
kissing my
know.
wife's feet. Yeah, I'll kiss them.
Sorry, Kate.
Right out of her shoes. Hey, she likes
It's
it.
not about you, Kate.
She
It's just
likes
about
it.
feet.
She likes it.
Yes, exactly.
Ugh.
I know. I'm,
Oh man.
We could go
No.
somewhere. We could go someplace really dirty on this situation.
There was
but
this
No.
one
I ain't
segment.
afraid of her
Dude,
feet.
there was this one segment on wrestling one time when I was a kid, and like the person who lost had to like eat the toe jam out of somebody's toes. Obviously, it was like fake toe jam or whatever. They do
Ew.
some wild shit on wrestling to like sell the point, but
Yeah.
it wasn't real toe jam. But just seeing it and like it forever scarred me because to me at the time it was real.
That is
was real
totally
to you,
different than
man.
your lover, who
I don't-
has just got out of the shower.
I ain't
Maybe
eating my
that's why I'm
lover's
a-
toe jam either.
Nobody's
Gross.
saying to
My
eat
feet are
his toe
fine.
jam. That's different than rubbing with your fingers. You can wash your fingers.
Dude, I don't even get the people who are like into feet, like the feet pick shit. Like, oh,
No.
man,
There's a
like,
lot.
ugh.
No.
No, there's way more than way more than I'm comfortable with as far as feet people.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you are one, Joel, but
Get your Flintstones out of here.
I,
I think
I
my
like
wife
my
has
wife's feet,
My wife has lovely feet.
and I don't mind them.
I don't know. There's just something I don't know what it is. Like, and I don't do good with stuff like that, no matter what. Like,
I like my wife's feet more.
Like
than
you
I like
guys,
her
you guys were
hands.
like you and Tommy the other night were talking about like the poop story,
Poop adjacent.
like poop adjacent, and like the turd trail. Like I was the
Yeah.
person who found the turd trail,
Oh, really?
and I had to tell Tommy that, hey, somebody pooped, and and one thing you guys don't know about that story. One thing you guys don't know about that story, and if you listen to the first episode, you know what story they told. But there was a poop trail, and it was like somewhat like somehow oily, like it had like a peanut oil, and there was a peanut in the turd.
peanut oil.
no,
And
not
that's
a
not the-
peanut.
and-
a peanut.
Yeah, you just
It's a
reminded me. You reminded me of the Punisher, like me. No. Wait. But yes, there was
Was
a.
it a space peanut?
No, it was not a space peanut. It was a real peanut, and like
Why do you
Like-
say it like that? It's a peanut, not a peanut.
that's how I talk, motherfucker.
It's a fucking peanut.
No, dude, that's how I
kinda
talk.
like-
I'm sorry. Another thing I say, like I can't say wolf. Like I said
Wolf?
it now because I say wolf.
You say woof?
Yeah,
Like-
it's a
like
wolf.
what-
Like I say F. You're supposed to say
Wolf.
wolf.
Like
No.
a V.
Wolf.
Yeah, I say wolf.
I say button.
You use the V whenever it's plural. Like
Well, I still don't
wolves.
use. I don't never say it right. I don't say it right.
Your peanut is like my button.
Yeah.
Okay, complete-
Complete the story. My grandpa calls oil oral,
Oral?
and he calls algae allergy. Go clean the allergy
You
off
need
the
more
dick.
oral
Yeah.
in that car.
But anyways, yeah. We were
Yeah,
talking about
Grandpa,
the
I
shit.
do.
We were talking about the shit on the floor, dude. We're on fucking Planet Xerox right now.
Planet Xerox? Are we making copies?
Yeah, dude, we're just all over the place, dude.
Can you use-
Making copies.
Can you use Xerox this
Hey, can you
peanut
go
for
get
me?
page 57 and put it back on the copier, recopy it, add a new sentence?
Oh my
But
God.
anyways, yeah, back
This
to
is
the
so
story
funny.
from like episode 1 about the fucking shit. The
Yeah.
shit trail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had like oil. It somehow had oil, viscosity. Like
Peanut
it was
oil.
like it looked like I had.
It was like a slug.
no. It looked like
just
it had.
walking and just
It was.
leaving a
It looked like
snail
it was
trail.
drenched in olive oil. Like
Why are you ruining good foods for me right now? Can you please stop?
It was avocado
But there
oil.
was a
That's what we're
peanut.
here next.
It's not a peanut.
there was a peanut.
How did you look at it?
Peanut.
so
Whatever
close?
you want to call it, dude. There
It
was
had viscosity. That's all he knows.
Viscosity.
the thing that George Washington Carver. I can't even say
Carver?
it. Yeah, all right,
Mr.
dude.
Planner?
I can't talk. Make fun of me.
George Washington Carver.
George
He's eating
Washington
his-
Carver, Mr.
He went
Carter.
hunting for wolves.
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 And he found a peanut.
Now I don't even know. Now I don't even know where I was going with the story. Thanks to you.
Washington Carver?
George Washington
Yeah. How
Carver,
did we
Wolf
end up? At
Peanut.
Yeah. Anyways,
Planner Peanut
about
Man.
the shit story.
Peanut butter guy.
Yeah. Space peanut shit on the floor. It's hard to get back when she goes
Oral.
so many
Yeah,
roads
once
away.
we
There
can't
was
crawl out of
oral
that.
on it.
I'm sure there's a plan.
Every rose has its thorn, just like every shit has its peanut.
Branson.
That's a great
making
cover.
copies.
Just like
Planet
every
Xerox. All right, one more time.
cowboy.
One more
sings
time.
a sad song.
Why is he?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan's back, dude. Dude, Dylan, get out of here, you motherfucker.
We told you to leave.
Hey, Mac a minute.
I thought you died. I hope you stay that way.
Yeah, dude, we should just do a whole album
Bob
of Bob
Dylan.
Dylan covers.
Bob Dylan
Bob-
cover.
Thanks.
You should have stayed dead, motherfuckers.
North
He's not
Carolina,
dead.
get your
He should
hands
be.
up.
Bob, we're gonna
Take
see
your
him.
He
shirt
should
off.
be.
Twist it around like a helicopter.
Oh no.
He should be dead.
Man, I feel like a woman.
X gonna give it to you. We gonna lose our minds up in here. Up in here. All right, that's enough. Christopher Walken.
Oh my god.
Don't even Christopher. If Joel Christopher Walken, it should be like Bob Dylan meets Christopher Walken.
I almost peed
Remakes all
myself.
songs.
Oh, how about all right?
I wish I knew where I was going with that shit story. It's gonna bug the shit out of me the rest of the night.
with
Peanut
peanuts.
Yeah.
Once it's
Damn
gone,
it, man.
It's
Yeah,
gone.
once it's gone, man.
It'll come back
know.
tomorrow.
All right, so MySpace. We all remember MySpace. Did you guys all use it
Oh yeah.
Briefly.
Yeah.
briefly?
Yeah, I remember the top 8, which was very controversial.
That was the whole thing.
especially being in school. Like, these kids are lucky they didn't have MySpace, man, because
The pressure.
it was drama. And like, who do you have as your top ones? And I remember taking like, I was like, no, there's not going to be a top 8. Let's just do 4.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
You don't remember the top 8?
No, because by the time I got on MySpace, I was not in high school. I was out of the army. I was
It would have been past
with
your,
Katie,
yeah.
and it was definitely.
You were already with Katie,
Yeah.
so it
Because
was.
when I got it, I was like,
My life was
six-
not as a single high school kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like 16 or 17 whenever I got it. So yeah, you would have been already
I was at least in the
doing
army.
your thing.
was it
Yeah.
really? Oh, at that
And when
point?
I was in the
Listen.
army, I didn't have a computer, so I didn't have access to
Yeah.
MySpace.
You sure you weren't on Friendster?
No, I was on MySpace.
I just-
and I got it late because I told you we didn't have internet or a computer until later.
Yeah, and when I was in the army, the only thing I did on the computer was download music from Napster legally, make CDs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd take
I
a
did.
all.
I
Oh,
was
you
all
seen the
night
fucking
long.
TikTok I sent
One
to you?
song.
Of, like me,
LimeWire.
me ruining my family
All night
computer
long.
with LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Napster was first.
You know as
I know,
bad as
but
I
I was
know
on
the girl
LimeWire.
that's on that picture.
And
too.
literally,
Oh, that's
you'd
I
go
did
to-
not.
I
You'd go to
did.
bed.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Man, we're
But the only reason I was able to have a computer and the internet, all right, I had a computer because my mom went to school, like not high school. My mom went to college later on in her life,
Yeah.
like around my age, like type, and became an RN. So all of a sudden we had money, which we never had. She got a computer.
good for mom.
I don't know if she could afford it at the time or if she got it on credit, but we got a fucking computer. As far as internet, it was Papadocs, which was
Yeah.
the internet provider in Greenville.
Greenville. Mm-hmm.
But everyone in our school shared the same person's internet. Damn near. And we all used the same password, and it was their dog. It was their dog's name as their password. So my friend, I'm not going to name the name because they were kind of prosecuted for it, giving out their password. But like, I'm talking about 20, 30 kids was using the same internet password to get
ta-
on this Papadocs.
Okay, so you're talking about at their house, they knew your friend's login, and then that.
No,
they-
our friend gave us the login. We logged
So
in
they could access
on our
the
own
internet.
computers, so we could.
That's what
access
I'm
it.
get- yeah,
so
you
you
were-
got
you're-
30 people. It's like somebody giving out their Netflix account, basically,
Yeah.
30 times.
30 times to 30 people.
this person really got like in like trouble with the law.
yeah, it
Right.
cost them like I think thousands of dollars to
Probably
the parents.
Wow.
Some kind of pirating
But
thing.
no, not pirating, just I don't know what stealing, kind of.
Basically, it's fraud.
Joel, your water isn't on the table all the way. Thank you.
But yes, so the only reason I had access to the internet at the age I did was because all the people in this group of friends had access to the internet because it was coming from this one source that their parents didn't know that they had gave out the password.
Yeah. Huh.
And then I proceeded to like have Napster when it first came out, LimeWire, all that stuff.
Did you have MySpace?
Yeah, MySpace.
I remember Napster.
And I loved MySpace because you you were kind of like you could personalize it so much, man. Like
Yeah.
We were coders.
we really had it fucking made, dude.
We were coders.
You were creating your own website
Uh-huh.
that was your space.
Yeah.
GeoCities. Do you ever
But
do
do you
that?
remember
No, I don't remember that.
how Napster was originally? Like when it was just like just lines of, like you kind of said, code of just. It looked like something from Matrix.
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
shit. It was just loads and loads of files. That's all it was, is files.
Yeah.
And it would take you all frickin' night.
Dude, I remember
to get
spending a
one
week
song.
downloading a song.
Yeah.
Man,
I remember
Forever.
very, very clearly. So, a lot of songs were somewhere between like 2,000 and 5,000 kilobytes. So that's like 2 to 5 megabytes.
It's like literally less than 1 second right now.
Yeah.
Download time.
And my download time for me, because I lived a little further out in the country, we had what was Sweatland internet, which was like
Sweatland.
that was what it's
Because you were
called.
sweating while
We
you were
were
waiting for
yeah,
that
we
to
were.
download.
We were getting
Because
hot.
you didn't have no air conditioning.
It was
went to sleep,
Vandalia's,
man.
It was Vandalia's, but
you could get 7 sleeps before a song downloaded.
we would be like getting like 4 or 5 kilobytes a second. So you're talking, okay, it's got to go 5,000 kilobytes. That's 1,000 seconds. That's
Yeah,
that's
you're
like an
doing the
hour
math.
or two just to get one song. And now if you want a song, you don't even have to download it. You just
Play it right
stream
away.
and it's ready to go in
Ridiculous.
much better quality than what we got.
And
back
not that
then.
much space of time, like from when we were doing it, like as far as like technology, like,
and
and-
Napster
and-
came out in like 99, 2000, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the songs we downloaded was 2000, 2001.
And how about the song names? You would think you were downloading one song, and then it ended up being a
I've
different
literally
one.
got.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
still-
you remember
the
that shit?
fakes.
You'd
Yeah.
have to like test the song a
And
little
then
bit
you would
into
talk
the
to your
download.
buddies, and you'd be like, "This is the real song," and
Yeah.
you'd share it
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, download this
I've
thing.
got,
That's the one."
I've got a bunch of CDs burnt from songs that were downloaded from Napster when I was in the Army that are still in totes like throughout our house.
Oh, dude, that would be a cool party.
What's that?
Fucking Napster songs.
Napster CD.
If
Dude,
he actually
I
has that,
legit
if he
have
actually has that,
CDs
that's the
burnt from that shit.
that should have been the retro party that we had. That should have been
A
whipped
bunch
out.
of burned
You ever
CDs.
heard of CKY brand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have,
I have
their DVDs and
Ho
shit.
Chi Minh, shoot a load on your chin. Goddamn, that's a sin.
I had that one too.
Oh yeah, I've got that shit from Napster on CDs at my house.
So you still have Napster files.
Yes.
Why didn't you tell us this for our 40th birthday?
Well, because I didn't,
He didn't
know.
think of it, maybe, But dude, that's awesome. Like
Yeah.
it would just be that would be nostalgic to go through
that-
some of the stuff you have.
that
to be
freestyle
honest.
by CKY brand.
Yeah.
that's bad.
Brandon DiCamillo.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yep.
He's a
And he quit-
skateboarder from Pennsylvania, Clearfield.
No, DiCamillo was not a skateboarder. He was just regular dude. He has a regular job now. He's not like a part of any of that shit.
You keep saying CKY brand. I'm thinking of
CKY was a band, I
know.
believe,
I know.
right?
Yeah, like I've heard.
But no, there's videos before Jackass. There was CKY.
yeah.
And that's what he's talking about.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
Bam.
They were just being
and
stupid.
DiCamillo was his best friend. Like you had Rab himself.
And they would just get together, be dumb, get high, and make these stupid fucking freestyles.
Yeah.
And
Like there was like more like in depth. I don't know where my fucking DVDs are. They're probably long
you're
lost gone.
You're
but
talking
I-
about 99, 2000 era right there.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater time.
Yeah.
Um,
But how about your fucking MySpace? dude?
MySpace,
Like,
yeah.
Like because we did get like as we always do, we get way off topic.
He'd be like, "Put you in a
but
cage."
I want to
poke
hear
you with
about
a little
Joel's
stick."
MySpace because I feel like there's something there because that was one thing that he wanted to talk about.
Well, I got a MySpace in 2005, and it was during this time I was really getting into music and trying to play the drums and seeing if that was something a career I wanted to pursue. And I was hanging out with a guy named Nathan, and really cool dude, played guitar like really well, really like blossomed into that skill. And I think actually now that's what he does. He is a performer. And he had a MySpace account, and I remember him logging into it. And I'm like, I've heard of it. And he's like, yeah, you should get it because it's a great way to, you know, see people's pictures and stuff. And like it was kind of a new concept because before that, for me, social media was either you went to somebody's website that they made up, their own website.
Yeah, I remember that time. Like people had their own. What was that?
Well, there was GeoCities. There was also Angel Fire.
Angel Fire. That's
Yeah.
it, dude.
Yeah,
Do you remember Winamp?
I kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a media player. Like, okay, so you had Windows Media Player, whatever. This was the thing. Like, and I'm sorry to get off
That's okay.
MySpace and shit, but it was like when you would download songs for Napster, you would download this other you'd call it an app now, but it was a program then.
Yeah.
It was called Winamp, and it basically you could have presets, like as far as like you could do your equalizing
Oh yeah.
with it, and it also provided you with like an extra like visual
Yeah,
thing.
it did.
You
I
re-
know
you
what you're
remember
talking
Winamp?
about.
I thought that was just Windows Media Player. that
No,
did
it's
that.
called Winamp. Like it was totally different.
Really?
It was like, all right, so like it was the cool guy thing to do. You know what I'm
Play
saying?
music
Like,
and then put that on and just.
well, no, you'd play it through Winamp.
Our computer had that.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was something separate. You had to download.
I don't really remember that. So Nathan, he was getting on MySpace and he was like finding, he had a girlfriend, I think, but he was like showing me these other like friends from school and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so then I remember downloading it, and the top 8 friends, we already talked about that a little bit ago. That was, it wasn't even only just the 8 people. The order that you put them in
mattered.
And I remember there was a lot.
Mattered a lot.
I remember a lot of drama. Like if somebody had got,
If they moved down, it
affected the friendship.
Yeah.
People would notice, oh, she moved me from 5 to 6 on her top friends, and
Which-
they moved this person in front of me. Like,
Maybe that's why it failed.
you think so?
Animosity.
No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
No, it didn't fail.
The reason it failed is just Facebook blew up.
Why though? It was just bland,
It was bland, and it wasn't advanced enough at the time.
and you had to have a student email to even get on there in the first
To
place.
start, and then
College.
they opened it up.
Not only student.
That was
college email.
Facebook.
That's what I
MySpace.
said.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
MySpace, you didn't have to do
But-
that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why
did MySpace
why
fail?
Did
And
MySpace
we
fail? is where
Facebook
we-
just blew up. It became more popular.
Maybe
But I'm
people
ask-
got
I'm wa-
tired
I'm
of
wondering-
having to code their own pages.
I think you want to know what I think.
Yeah,
Well, I
why?
don't think Facebook is monitored enough, to be honest.
Well, we're not talking now. We're talking
Yeah.
in the past.
I know you were, but then
I think it
Facebook came into
was-
question.
with a MySpace, it was like a website, and people would go and look at your website, and they could find out a lot about you. But and I think you could maybe leave messages, but it wasn't quite as in the right format. It was just you'd go to their MySpace and see if they made an update or something.
Yeah.
But on Facebook, you could make updates, and people could comment on them. And
Okay.
it was a little bit more
So
engaging
I gotcha.
than just MySpace. I think that's what propelled it
I
further.
think the main difference is the posts.
Yeah.
MySpace didn't have where you could post on someone's page.
Not
Okay.
at the first part.
Facebook
I think they
did.
added something later.
Well, and
When
I
it was
think
too
that's
late.
that's how they came up with Facebook. It was
well, they just seen what
improvement
they
on
seen what
what
was already
MySpace
there.
did, and then
Yeah.
that's how innovation works.
Yeah.
The fucking guy comes in with an invention, and then somebody makes
comes
it
in
better.
and makes it better. Yeah.
Yeah. When I think about MySpace, I think about
That was the initial.
But was that a
Invention,
fucking
really, at
glorious
the time.
time or what, Joel?
I think
It was cool at the time.
You could somebody came to your page and you could let them know what your mood was because you had a song playing when they.
the songs mattered
that's what I was
because
gonna say.
Yeah, sorry, babe.
Hey, I'm upset right now.
Yeah, so you might play this song. You might play a different song based
You're
on
playing
how you're feeling.
Evanescence.
That was huge.
Headstrong to take you on.
Oh my gosh, 2003.
I never
You guys
played
are
that, but-
screaming 2003 to me right now.
But yeah, that wasn't mine. Mine was probably like some.
You could change the music. You could change the style. So you could change the background or the photos. You could add a lot of photos, which was cool. You could. I seem to remember a lot of surveys, and then you could copy and paste the results of those surveys, so people could know what Power Ranger you were, or what potato you were. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
you guys are like Jesse did it to me a while ago with the VCR. Now
Unlocking
you're doing
memories.
like
You're remembering now?
unlocking memories that I can't access.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I forget over time because they become obsolete in my brain.
Yeah. No, but it's weird that they're still there and you don't like access them until somebody says some shit.
Like me and Joel
Yeah.
were talking Nintendo a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, man, regular Nintendo, I used to beat that game in like 11 minutes. And I could, in the game with over 100 dudes from level 3-3. I told you about that.
Super Mario.
Yeah. On the freaking staircase going up to the flag, I could get 100 dudes. Like infinite lives. And still finish the game in like 11 minutes.
Yeah. All right, babe. What about you and your MySpace experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, you pretty much said all
Sorry.
the things that I was thinking, but also a couple things. The glitter, you could add a code
Oh yeah.
that would make your
I
page
remember that.
glitter
It
too.
sparkled. Yeah.
And when you think about it, like they actually turned us all into coders without realizing it, because they would put MySpace codes out there on the internet, and you just go like copy paste, but you had to put it in the right spot
No, you did have to put
on
it
your
in there.
page.
If you put it in the wrong spot, it
it's
did not
all
work.
messed up.
You
yeah.
guys remember a lot more about this shit than I do.
Well, we were younger at that point. Like,
And I coded my page a lot.
yeah. No, I got real in depth with my shit.
I did too.
And dude, our pages actually probably still exist out there. Did you guys
They
know
do.
that?
Oh,
I
mine
guarantee
does.
those
Yeah,
accounts are out
I
there.
just don't remember my login.
I had music pages that I made music, and it doesn't no longer play. And I wish it did because that's the only copy I had.
Oh, that sucks.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think I did too much on my page. I know I had one. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, the sparkle stuff and stuff.
Well, that was.
I
I
can
do
show
remember
you.
what she
I
was.
no, I'm
You
saying
could make
I don't think I invested that much
And
time.
Joel,
in
were
you
you-
could make stuff fall on the page.
There's like some.
Yeah.
You might have to zoom in a little bit, but like you could just make it was your own personal webpage.
So Joel, were you like emo?
Yes.
He definitely was.
You had
liked
steel
to-
ball necklace. I know.
I
that.
remember
I
even
like
the
to
first time I
dress
met
like
him
it.
at the
Yeah.
Because at the time I was
not
I was skinny and had longer hair.
Yeah, dude, that's one person I never knew
Relay
was
for Life.
Skinny Joel.
Skinny Joel.
Emo
Yeah.
Joel.
Yeah.
Relay for life.
Because like I
bud.
just
There's
know
a
you
really
as,
good emo picture of
I
me.
just know you like I've seen it because it was
That's
like
I've shown it to you
Before
before.
no, I think I've seen it on MySpace.
There's
I
more
think
than
it's
one.
on Facebook still.
There's
Yeah.
more than one emo.
I remember
picture
him
of
showing
you.
up to a Relay for Life with his hair slicked back
Oh,
and
Relay
spiked,
for Life, dude.
and he was
that's for another episode.
wearing a leather jacket. And he was super skinny then. It was him
But
and Jesse's
I
first.
I
started
think
dating.
like I think MySpace kind of died with the emo phase that people had.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think
that's-
that was a big part
I would
of
say
it.
yeah, because people were like
2007,
very
8.
emotional, wanted to like project like I'm feeling this way, and they were very like outward with like because
Putting it on
that's
their
what the
page
emo
and- yeah.
phase was is like people were being emotional, quote unquote, but they were just actually projecting how they feel, and they were comfortable with it, kind of
I'm based-
sharing it with other people or just looking for somebody to pay attention. I don't
Yeah.
I don't exactly get it. It was
I
like
think it was a combination of both.
the emo phase came after my phase that I had. Like, because when I was in high school, yeah, that's the one I remember you. And that does not look like you. Look like
I'm guessing-
you look like Jake.
Joel, show me the picture. I'm way away from you, but I remember when you and Jesse met you for the first time. I'm guessing it was 2007 or 8,
Well,
9.
we didn't start dating until 09.
09. Okay,
And then we met you. I
So-
met you in 2010.
Yeah.
okay.
It would have been 2010.
And you must have met Roddy the year before.
No, I'd known Roddy since I worked at IGA.
Yeah.
She met him in 2009, but Roddy worked at IGA with us. He worked in the meat department
Yeah.
for a little bit.
Old meat slicing Roddy,
Meat slicing.
the Rod Man.
All right. Well, we're nearing the end of the night.
dude,
It's probably 1
I am
a.m.
getting tired. I
I
would
am
like to
super
say that.
tired.
Yeah.
But we've talked for
3.5 hours.
damn near.
12:39.
Yeah.
3.5 hours worth of content. That's a lot to edit. But I mean,
No, and this episode does need editing.
yeah,
This needs a thorough editing.
yeah. But it was good though. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We
did.
I think I've laughed harder on this one. But again, you have 3.5 hours to talk. That's
Yeah.
going to happen.
No,
Hey,
this was good, man. I enjoyed it a lot, man. And I'm glad Jesi showed up at the end.
Yeah, thanks for letting me jump in at the
Yeah,
end.
no problem, man.
Some parting thoughts before you go, Branson?
What's up?
No, I'm asking you if you have any
Oh, I thought he was like, hey, I thought he was confronting me.
some
Hey,
parting thoughts.
Some parting thoughts before we go, Branson. I need you to not do this and not do that.
I love it when you sing. I love it when you do your
I
Bob
love
Dylan
it when
impression.
you call me Big Papa.
Throw your
Put your hands in the air if you're a true player. Because I see some ladies tonight. You should be having my baby. My baby.